on this computer, recording now, and recording on my device.
Now.
3.
I only have one hand.
Oh, wait.
Oh!
What?
Hold on. All right, yeah. Let's go.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
We actually don't have to ever do that.
We don't. We got it. Well, I said that, and then my recorder died. Fuck!
Oh,
God.
Hell yeah!
Hold on.
I love the fact
This
our podcast is cursed.
Pause. I'm resuming core, recording on that, recording again. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Is everybody recording?
Everybody recording?
I'm recording.
yes.
Recording.
All right.
Let's go.
Welcome to the One Take Podcast, episode 31. We are back after some life events and some pauses. We are back. Hopefully, we'll be releasing this on the same day as normal. We are joined by the only Rascal F. Kennedy.
Hello.
He joins us from Full Circle, where he is a movie critic and he is the host of Talkin' Netflix. One of the hosts of Talkin' Netflix. Rascal, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Why did you want to do Batman versus Superman? How dare you?
Yeah, why?
Because this movie, it doesn't get the love that it should get, man.
No, it gets exactly the love it should
No.
get.
I'll get to you in a minute.
Damn.
I'm not alone on this, man. I'm in the majority.
I think up and down this panel, it's pretty well shitted on.
Yep.
Wow.
I didn't. This is actually the first time that I had, once the reviews came out, we'll get into that in a little bit. Once the reviews came out way back when, I had actually actively avoided this movie. I liked Man of Steel, but just seeing, I don't like Zack Snyder. So, so that, yeah, look at that. Look at that face. He's shocked. I don't really like him as a director. I think whatever, but we'll get into that in a little bit. I had actively avoided this movie, and I didn't hate it as much as I thought, but you actively liked this movie.
Yes. I personally, Zack Snyder is one of my favorite directors next to Chris Nolan. Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
But you're allowed to like Christopher Nolan. I don't actually think you're allowed to like this movie. I think that's a bad take.
Oh, we're starting off hot. How long have you been reviewing movies for?
I started off with Super Bro movies in maybe 2016, and we kind of absolved as a unit away from Super Bro movies, and we started our own website, and that's how you ended up with Full Circle Cinema. Mm-hmm. And we've all kind of just meshed together, and I will just go ahead and say this now. Our website is a pretty big Zack Snyder Stan account.
Wow. Do you want to say right here that you are solely responsible for getting the Snyder Cut back out?
No. You know what? I actually condemn everybody who harassed people in order to get that to happen. I don't agree with it. Yeah, I think it would have happened either way, but I think the whole harassing people on the internet thing, it's just not okay.
No, they really shit on a bunch of people, and Joss Whedon got paid, but
no, he deserved that.
Okay.
He's the one person in the bunch who deserved it, I think.
Yeah. Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Shout out. He's
Joss
getting
Whedon.
shit on lately, especially. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's so hard with Joss Whedon because Joss Whedon's responsible for my favorite TV show ever, but also, yeah, fuck.
Your favorite?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, okay.
I figured that's where this was going.
I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer with I've seen the entire show 5 times through. It and Charmed are my 2 favorite TV shows. Fun fact. I like powerful women.
That fact is fun.
Yeah, thanks. It tells you a lot about me, but but regardless, I think the Joss, I get why he's getting so much hate, and he's really fucking problematic.
I mean, who plays a Cyborg?
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher just came out and just shitted on that man. At the end anyway, it's not about him, but he came out this week.
It's always about Joss Whedon.
Yeah, exactly. But in case you didn't know, we are doing Batman versus Superman. But real quick, how How we all doing, folks?
How are we doing? Bro, you're engaged.
Oh yeah.
Hey, congratulations.
Hey,
Wow.
thank you. I did it. We're
Man, you
good.
tried to slide that in early with life events, like just brush over that small thing.
yeah. This is a life event, is it not?
Y'all are like the most casual engaged couple I've ever seen. Like literally, Caitlyn comes on screen and you're like, show them the ring, and she's like, oh, like, do I have to? Like, the only engaged woman I've ever met who's done that.
Hey,
Jesus.
be humble. That's what.
Dude,
Yeah,
gotta get,
apparently. Y'all are
you gotta
so
get on the
chill
ground
about
floor. You gotta get on the ground floor. What Maui and I did. We wanted to get married. We were engaged for 2 years, but planning an actual wedding felt like too much work, so we just kept on pushing it back.
I just don't want to.
That's what my cousin did, and then finally they were like, "It's been like 3 years. Like we really should like actually
should
consider
probably
a wedding."
Are we gonna do this ever? Do we have to?
Like, do we just live together still? Like, has anything actually substantially changed?
It's the
Oh,
it's
the
the
tax break was not worth it. I'll tell you that much.
it's the thing was like when you start just putting your name on each other's mail, it's like, all right, well, we don't even have to really do this now.
Comment
Like, not only to get married, but like I can just come to y'all's house and get drunk and dance to music. That's all weddings are good for. Like,
Yeah.
that's all. we
That's
need.
true. Well, and food and like, okay, but if someplace doesn't have an open bar, like this, I don't think this is even controversial. Like, fuck you if you have a wedding and you don't have an open bar. Like, honestly, fuck
It's
you.
tough. It's tough.
Like,
Okay, so I didn't have an open bar. Thank you.
Fuck you for being poor.
It was at a vineyard. There was a shit ton of wine.
that's fine.
Okay.
You just have to have something to get fucked up with. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the point of the bar. Like,
Yeah, but it's like, but if you don't, if it's not like mostly open, like if you have
Yeah.
cutoff limits, that's fine.
Semi-open bar.
I mean, we went to a wedding, like, not to get off track, not to avoid the topic of my engagement, but we went to a wedding where it's like they started serving alcohol as soon as we walked in until the very end, and there was people like throwing up in urinals.
That's
and
correct.
like throwing up in hallways, and you're just like, what the how old are we?
No, my brother's wedding, a random girl literally just came up to give a toast, and none of us really knew who she was. And we're all like, how do you know my sister-in-law? And she was like, I went to like middle school with her, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't think you hung out with Michaela for 15 years.
I love this woman. She's awesome. Whoever this is.
And then she
single.
got so drunk that she fell, and we all found out she wasn't wearing underwear on the dance floor. And we were all just like,
Wow.
Good for
we
her.
were all just like, ooh, it's so good to not be you.
Dex's dream woman right here.
I'm like, what's her IG? Let's discuss.
She's married to a sous chef in Houston, which I found out during her speech because she talked for 20 minutes about being married to a sous
Nah,
chef in Houston.
somebody would have had to tackle her, man.
20 minutes. You
She
throw
was
in
like, everyone wants to know.
hey, shut the fuck up! Like, just from the back of,
No, we all just stood there like,
that's the
best,
problem.
the
The
best
problem with
man hasn't even given a speech, you bitch.
Jesus Christ, the
Wow.
balls on this lady,
Before everyone else.
incredible.
Hell no.
Yeah, so not to slide past Ollie, I did get engaged to the love of my life, Caitlin Wally. Had some family and friends over to celebrate, and yeah, did it on the suspension bridge in Waco, Texas. Shout out.
Woo!
So if you want to go look at those pictures, they're super cute, and we're a cute couple. Be jealous,
Very
but no, it's
Steve
great,
White with some puffy eyes. It's adorable as hell.
dude.
It is
I
really cute.
did not sleep. Didn't sleep.
No,
Well,
you don't. You don't.
It was like one of those things that like I was losing sleep for nights on end, and it was for no reason because it was over in about 15 minutes. And and it was
Do you
like,
remember it?
yeah, I kind of remember what I said, but it was also just like, and Dex was making fun of on Twitter the Baylor tradition of tortilla tossing, and I had to text him and be like, "That's how I'm proposing to Caitlin." And he was like, well, no, that's cool. That's cute. I'm like, okay.
When you have to
Good
backpedal so fast.
Yeah. But,
Yeah,
I
fucking
stand
water
by
to your
my
toss.
original take, but like you gotta admit it's kind of dumb.
you know,
It's
it's
not like
very,
A&M tradition dumb, but it's like kind of dumb.
it's it's not hullabaloo connect, but it's
Rice has no marital traditions, and I think that's because they all know no one from Rice should get married or is like really a desirable partner. And like,
Are we
Speaking of
talking?
undesirable partners?
Are we talking from self-experience here? Like what
I'm
is?
like including myself.
Oh, okay.
I was
no.
gonna say, speaking of undesirable partners,
It's
Batman versus Superman.
yes.
Wow.
Speaking
What
of
an
undesirable
incredible
partners,
transition.
being married to Superman sounds like it fucking sucks. Let's see here. I mean, maybe. Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, the extended cut, which is the one that we were able to watch on HBO, which is actually kind of interesting. The extended cut's actually rated R. Where I'm not sure. But the original came out, and it is long. The original is long by itself. Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice came out in 2016, has a 6.4 rating on IMDb. So, semi-liked by people, and it's originally rated PG-13, was 2 hours and 31 minutes long in theaters. The Snyder cut of this movie, I guess, is over 3 hours long. It's
always over 3 hours.
fearing. I mean, but those are the cuts, and we'll get into that. Those are the cuts that people like, especially of like Watchmen, and I'm assuming of Justice League. So we'll see. Fearing the actions of Superman are left unchecked, Batman takes on the Man of Steel while the world wrestles with what kind of hero it really needs. Director Zack Snyder, writers Chris Terrio, David S. Goyer. 5 more credits on this. I think everybody had their hands on this, but okay. Well, it's also created by, but it's written by Chris Terrio and David S. Goyer, based on the characters by several DC comic writers. Stars Ben Affleck, Batfleck, as Batman. Henry Cavill looking like a snack as Clark Kent, Superman. Amy Adams, Jesse Eisenberg doing something. Diane Lane as Martha Kent, Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White, Jeremy Irons looking like a J. Crew catalog.
Yeah, he's kind of a
Alfred.
daddy in this.
Yeah,
film.
it lit right. Got the scruff and everything. Jesus.
Like damn.
The voice, man. It's all in the voice. But Holly Hunter doing her best Holly Hunter impression as Senator Finch, and then Gal Gadot as Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, and also Scoot McNairy as Scooter McGee, terrorist guy. Yeah. Oh man.
That's so bad.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. This movie had a budget of $250 million. Made its budget opening weekend $166 million. It didn't make as much money as I think they wanted it to, though, as they were expecting. But it made a shit ton of money. Anybody want to take a guess at how much money this made? Overall? Anyone?
Maybe 3 mil.
Wait, what?
Hold on. How much did it cost?
It cost
300 mil.
It cost $250 million to make, and you only think it made 300 mil?
Yeah, because everybody hated it.
But didn't it have such a good opening weekend, and then it all went downhill? Like, I thought it opened super strong.
It had an opening weekend of $166 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, it had a great opening weekend. But anybody else want to venture a guess?
Dex said 6.
6?
I'm gonna do $6 and $1, Bob. Just to Albert.
I'll do 500.
Something around there, like.
I'll do 500 to be under.
Oh, okay. So $6 and $1 wins. It was $873 million this movie made.
So, pushing into the billion territory.
Yeah, I mean, it made its money. It grossed 330 in the U.S., but this killed overseas. And but how critics felt about it had a 44% on Metacritic, a whopping 28% yuck on Rotten Tomato.
Yeah.
62% from fans. So fans like this more than critics did, obviously. But So that is what it is. 14 minutes in. Let's get started on these reviews, folks. Let's see here. We'll start with our guest, Rascal F. Kennedy. Give this a rating and a review, sir. A letter grade, if you will.
A letter grade?
Yep.
A regular ass A.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I said wow.
Okay.
Oh, so I guess I'm the one with the hot takes today. You know what? I'll be that guy.
Explain.
Explain
Defend yourself.
Explain yourself.
Okay, what I will say is if we're going by just the regular edited version of it, I'll give it a B. But if we're throwing in the extended cut, I'll give it an A. And the reason that I say that is because the extended cut glues everything that was missing about the movie originally together. Like there's some scenes whenever you watch the original version, there's a bunch of cut scenes and you kind of get confused while you're watching the film. I won't lie. I was one of those people. The first time I watched it, I was lost. And then I went and I watched the extended cut whenever it came out, and it kind of glued everything about the movie together. Now, my one problem with this film is the Martha scene. And I will rant about this until the day that I die. That was the dumbest thing that anybody could have ever done in a movie. I have no clue.
His mom's named Martha.
Why did you
None
say
of it
that?
makes sense. That was probably my one problem with the film, besides the jump scenes in the original version, was the Martha clip. I never understood it. You could have had any other reason for them to band together. Lex Luthor's trying to destroy the world. All right, let me stop whooping Superman's ass and let's team up and go fight the guy. But instead, they decided to use Martha. And it threw me for a loop. That'll forever piss me off. But I mean, overall, I love the film. I enjoy it. It sets up what I wanted in Justice League, and hopefully we'll get in the Snyder cut. But overall, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why everybody hates it so much. I want to
Well,
hear
let
from
me just
y'all,
tell you,
actually.
the Snyder Cut will not save you.
Me and Dex are just like, well, we do. We know.
Well, let's get into it. We'll get to the hot takes here in a second. Jake, how do you feel? You got the background with you.
Because it's the best scene. I guess
Makes no sense that it's in there, but whatever.
No,
It's so fucking stupid.
It's great, but
Hold on.
It does work.
Yeah, but you can tell me RFK.
Well, I mean, so the whole nightmare scene was to kind of set up what Zack Snyder wanted to do down the line. He was originally, from my understanding, he wanted to do 5 films. And the second Justice League film was supposed to dabble into Nightmare, or as Justice League. What's the name of the video game? Damn it.
Injustice.
I'm having a brain fart. Yes, Injustice. It was supposed to dabble into Injustice, which would have been basically the nightmare scene in Batman versus Superman.
I still hate it. Anyway, go on, Jake.
So for those of you who are just listeners and not watching this on YouTube, I have the
YouTube
Nightmare
One Take Pod. Go subscribe. Thank you. All right. What?
There we go. I have the apocalypse scene where Superman, for some reason, is a god and Batman is leading stormtrooper-esque rebels. It's the best scene in the movie, and that is my Zoom background. I'll take middle of the road because I know Dex and Caitlin and I'm pretty sure Royden are just gonna take this thing down. It's not an A. I'm sorry. It's not an A. It's not an A and a B. It passes. It's a C+, and only because it's a movie that has really good ideas. And they're not original ideas, but approaching it, at least just from the Superman standpoint of him having to reconcile with the fact that, even though he's super and he thinks of himself as, a hero of the people that's going to save them, like he destroyed an entire city, which caused billions of damage and thousands of lives lost. And so like that background, whether it's not a new idea, like a lot of films have introduced that the gray area of superheroes, but like that sort of reconciliation arc there is interesting. However, for Superman to only have 42 lines in the whole film completely undercuts a lot of that idea. Everything else, there's just like 30 different plot points in this movie that constantly are introduced and then never expounded upon or kind of forgotten about. I feel that Batman wanting to stop Superman is very contrite and not backed up by anything. I want to see them fight. I want to see Superman just absolutely laser eye fuck Batman to death. That doesn't happen. And the only reason Batman sort of wins is because he cheats with a kryptonite spear.
Don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Past that, the whole Lex Luthor storyline is very meh. It feels like we needed to insert a villain somewhere in here, and then for it to come out that Lex Luthor is kind of trash, and suddenly Doomsday for 2 minutes kicking Gal Gadot's ass. Like, I was like, okay, so we're just constantly introducing like so many little things that make no sense in this film, and then suddenly Superman's dead.
It was definitely like Snyder almost had a vision. I don't like his vision, but it's like he had a vision of what he wanted to do, and then somewhere down the road, MCU was kicking their fucking ass.
Yeah.
And some Warner Brothers executive was like, I need you to use this to set up a extended universe. Do it. And it's just like, fine, fuck.
Well,
here's some JPEGs with the Flash symbol on it.
The Flash is also such a fucking confusing character in this, and I'm like, why? But also, we do have in this film, and I think it's really, really fucking important, and it's the only reason this film might be great, is we have an explanation for why Lex Luthor is bald. And I think that's really important. That one time he had hair, and now, because he went to fucking prison, that's why he's a bald man.
Not like cancer, not anything like with kryptonite, nothing like that. No,
nothing that's a good explanation.
Baldness.
Nah, just to keep the lice away.
One time he had beautiful flowing locks. Yeah,
They
made a choice. They made a choice to give Jesse Eisenberg a wig.
That was the
Lex
worst.
Luthor once had good hair.
Jesse Eisenberg, a man with actual hair.
Yeah.
No, I'll close out by saying, like, if there were supposed to be 5 films, I feel like at some point in time, Warner Brothers realized that they're not going to catch up with MCU. It was like, we need to shove all of it as fast as we can into one film, and then we'll expound upon it later, which obviously didn't happen because this tanked, and followed by Justice League tanking, followed by Suicide Squad tanking. I think the ideas are there. Like, I think if we had more time and we focused ourselves up, I think this movie actually had potential to be okay, if not good. But because there's so much that happens with little to no consequence, it's a C.
All right. To the people that hated this the most, we'll start with Caitlin, and then Dex we'll wrap it up with you before I give my whatever review.
Hell yeah. So, the only good part of this movie is that it introduces Gal Gadot. That's it.
Love
Is that good though?
She doesn't even do a good job in this film, but I'm glad they introduced her.
Time out.
Yes.
Is this going to end with Caitlin going, this movie was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I hope it burns. A+.
Yes.
No.
Right.
I know exactly what I'm going to rate this. And it's a D for DC Universe.
Look at that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Like at the very beginning, I was gonna take notes for the first time ever in this podcast history.
Oh, thanks for trying. We appreciate it.
But people are trying to research.
And then like I started taking notes and then got really fucking angry. And I stopped at the part where Martha's pearl necklace is broken by a gun, because I think that's the worst thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. Where the gun goes off and it's the fucking kickback causes her pearls to burst.
You know how we all steal necklaces, folks, right?
One pearl at a time.
Yeah.
Like,
the next scene should have been him going, fuck, trying to pick those up off the ground.
And I was like, I just don't care. I'm like, I've seen different Batman origin stories where I cared about his parents dying, and considering that his mom is supposed to be such an important figure in the film, I wish it wasn't done weirdly in the credits. Like, I wish we'd actually have a moment of like some connection between him and his mom where it's like there was some weight to it.
What a waste of Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah.
Well,
Who?
you know what? I'll save it until
He's supposed to
we're
come
done.
back in Flashpoint, right?
Yeah, he was gonna come back in Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole another thing.
I also don't understand the whole Lois is the key from the fucking Flash, where it's like, why is Ezra Miller suddenly here in this dream?
Flashpoint and Injustice.
I don't know about this. I'm watching as a casual viewer who really doesn't know anything about superheroes. And like, I don't know. I felt no emotional connection. I love Amy Adams, and like when she was pushed off a building by Lex Luthor, I was like, maybe she'll die. I was like, that would be an interesting twist in this film.
With an hour and a half left in this movie.
That would have just caused injustice to happen on the wrong Earth really fast.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't care. I think DC does a better job with with films that are female centric for some reason, which is actually something I think Marvel fucking sucks at. But like, literally, their Harley Quinn films are really fucking good. Like
the Harley Quinn seasons are. Sorry to interrupt. The Harley Quinn animated series is apparently really good too. I've
heard really good things about the Kayla Cuoco like voice acting for her too, and like how they've approached like her and Poison Ivy. And I think the weakness of DC is when it tries to be a little bit more gritty instead of actually just like leaning into some of its like funnier, like, because I think that's what Marvel's thriving on is like the funny and the lightness, and I think DC wants to be dark and gritty. But when they don't do that, and like they like utilize Margot Robbie or like whatever, like when they focus on women or in like Wonder Woman, like I think that's where they're good. And I think this film is exactly kind of what DC needs to learn from to be better. Like, I don't know. That's my take. But I don't know. I don't hate DC. I think they do a good job with women specifically and should embrace that.
D for DC. I cannot wait for Wonder Woman 1984, but that's neither here nor there.
It's gonna be so fucking badass. Like,
either that or it's gonna tank so fucking hard. It's just like
I fell asleep watching Wonder Woman.
God damn it! Everybody hates that movie.
I love Wonder Woman. It was so.
I don't understand. I don't understand how you can love it, but also hate Captain America: The First Avenger. It's the same.
I also
movie.
hate Captain America.
It is the same movie. Dave.
It's the same movie.
It's absolutely not the same movie.
Because one has Gal Gadot and the other doesn't.
Gal Gadot is a much more likable protagonist in the first one than I think Chris Evans is in the first Captain America.
Also, Chris Pine is hot as shit.
He's so fucking hot in Wonder. Oh my fucking
He's very
god.
hot. He's very hot. A lot of hot people in that movie.
Anyway,
Dex. Yeah, Dex, go ahead.
So yeah, I don't like this movie.
Yeah, Dex. Let's go.
But like I can kind of see where they were going with parts of it. They just didn't like actually go there. Yeah. I think is the problem. And like I was saying this in the group chat last night. I don't think Zack Snyder and the people responsible for this movie like Batman or Superman enough for this movie to be good. Like, because clearly you can't like Batman if like one of the first things we see Batman do as Batman is start like killing people. Like that's not what this is for Batman. Like, that's not what we do here.
Not what we do.
I don't know. I don't think you know who Batman is.
Yeah, like
I think that's exactly what Well, she's only seen Alan West's Batman.
Yeah.
So
why is Batman like shooting a gun at people? Like that's not a Batman. Like that's not a thing that Batman does. Like this is not.
It is.
I'm going to counter Dex by also approving of him. Apparently, like the rough cut of this film when it was shown to Warner Brothers execs, they all gave it a standing ovation and then immediately turned around and tried negotiating to get Ben Affleck for like 5 Batman films. So they all thought this is exactly who Batman should be.
He was supposed to write and direct his own Batman movie.
Yeah.
Like that's where we were going with Ben Affleck in this. Man, I mean, personal problems and everything be damned, but it was just like
They
was
thought
supposed
they
to be
struck
in it.
gold.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, I know. Anyway,
They struck gold.
The thing,
yuck.
the thing about this Zack Snyder thing is that it had all this potential, and Warner Brothers kind of just chopped it to shit.
Yeah.
mm-hmm. They really meddled hard in it. Dex, continue.
Yeah, go ahead, Dex.
But yeah, anyway, like I don't. That's not canon, is what I'm saying. Like, and Batman feels like the villain of this
Back
movie.
of Comic-Con. Oh, sir, Mr. Snyder.
Excuse me.
Batman superfan, Dex.
In Batman
This
Year
is not
One,
canon.
in Batman Year One, he clearly does not have a gun.
If you read the original Detective Comics where Batman is introduced,
And
I'm sorry, I keep fucking interrupting
can
you.
you please go to Comic-Con whenever the world opens up and just like stand in line at some booth and raise your hand for like 5 hours and be like,
Dark Knight stand 69 here.
69 for 20.
Sorry, man.
But yeah.
Give your review.
anyway, yeah, I don't know. And then like obviously watching this movie, Zack Snyder does not fuck with Superman like as a concept.
Which same.
That's
That's my
like-
favorite part of it.
That's fine, but it's like you can't make a Superman movie where you just hate Superman the entire time. Like that's just not
Apparently
be
you can.
as good. You can't do it and expect it to be successful among critics or the box office. But yeah, I just wish that these were like original characters. I think this would have been a much better movie with like brand new characters that we weren't supposed to already be attached to. This wasn't supposed to be like the launching pad of, a cinematic universe, because like making this literally the second movie in a cinematic universe completely takes out any stakes of it, because like you watch Superman die at the end and you're like, this is the second movie, Superman's coming back, this is a waste of my time.
Well, it's like how like Marvel waits to do Civil War for a pretty extended period of time, which is like arguably a very similar film in structure, like in terms of like what it's trying to do, which is pit two major superheroes against each other.
Yeah,
so the commentary's entirely different, but I think it's like you have to build up to a fucking Civil War. You don't just throw it. And I also think like, so who said that it's like this idea has been done before, but like at least the idea was good? Because was that Jake?
Yeah.
So my issue is that it's been done before, but it's also been fleshed out before by literally the fucking Incredibles. Like that's like the entire premise of their universe, which is that superheroes are destructive and keep dying, and like therefore we should have a world without superheroes. And I think like they did it better. Like
no, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
And I think that's what's so disappointing is this is a concept that's been fleshed out before. It's been touched on. I mean, Watchmen deals with the exact same concept.
Yeah.
And also like X-Men.
Yeah, and fucking X-Men. And it's like I think it does it not that well, and it is a topic that has been discussed. I'll like open it. That's my opinion.
To finish up my review, they tried to do too much too early.
Yes,
and it didn't work out. So I give it like a D.
Yeah, hell yeah.
D for DC.
D for
Let's
DC.
go, Dex. Dex, we never agree.
I think
First time for everything.
I'm so
I feel like
happy.
you agreed on like the last two films.
do superheroes deserve families starring Pete Davidson?
No.
Okay.
The
No,
answer is
No, they don't. Superman can't have kids. That kryptonite. Fucked up.
Dude, yeah,
Burnt out.
the secret side effect of being a superhero is also being sterile.
Is low T.
How could he ever expect to have human children, though?
Wait, his sperm is too strong and too powerful that it just breaks every egg and comes into contact.
We tried, dude. We don't know, like, you don't know what you're doing. This is a human lady.
Man, why are you trying to fuck an alien?
Yeah. Speaking of, Doomsday, poor guy. You know why I was so mad? No dick and balls. Anyway, he didn't have to be anatomically correct. But the I don't know. My review of this movie, there is a better movie in here somewhere. There has to be. And out of all the things that, like, I don't think Ben Affleck's a bad Batman. I think he did fine. I think Henry Cavill has everything it takes to be Superman. Like, he looks the part. He looks like that guy. I don't know how you take two of the most known superheroes ever. They are it. It's like Superman, Batman, Captain America, and like or Spider-Man in the middle, maybe. Like, I don't know how you do that. And it's not the best superhero thing ever made. And I know this was probably supposed to be based off of the Dark Knight Returns sort of series. I don't know, right? Is that correct?
I would say it's so. I don't even. That's a good question. Actually,
Like,
you just mind fucked me a little bit.
It takes the same concept. And that's what I feel like people thought that they were going to get, is like an older Batman, like in his 50s or 60s. And obviously you can't do that. And I think that they tried to portray Ben Affleck as having done this for forever and he's over it. But you just don't really know that because you only see him fighting crime twice. You know what I mean? Like, and he's branding people and shit. Like, I guess he is over it. He's about to have a mental break. And I don't know. Like, I think there's a better movie in here somewhere. I don't like Zack Snyder's color grading of anything that he does. I've hated that about all of his movies. I don't know why Man of Steel looked like it was filmed in like gray. I don't know what that was about. So same with this movie. I don't hate the take on Batman here. I just trying to set up a confrontation between two of the greatest superheroes of all time with literally zero backstory besides some dude named Jack died in a building. Okay. Like,
what I will say is that from Man of Steel, and I can't think of the person who wrote it, but there's a guy who runs a website. He runs Comic Book Debate, and he wrote like a whole like think piece on Superman and Man of Steel and how he was kind of an immigrant. And it's kind of, whenever we go to Batman versus Superman, whenever you think of it, technically he is an illegal alien.
Oh.
Well, if you actually watch one of the signs, it literally says when they're at the courtroom and Superman's coming up, literally one of the signs in the scene says he's an illegal immigrant.
Yeah.
And that's like pretty common. I mean, Superman was made because of xenophobia, like the original comic book series. This is my English major hat coming on. But like literally superhero films that have to do with like meta-humans or like anyone that's from a different planet often are immigration responses. And Superman was originally a response to immigration, I think in the Cold War or like World War II. I can't remember which one. Yeah. So it had to do with immigration in World War II. And I don't know my timelines for superhero comics, but I do know that it was a response to essentially immigration. So that doesn't, that's pretty much like a confirmed, like a lot of the writers like to deal specifically with like struggles with like xenophobia when dealing with like, obviously like you're literally dealing with a fucking alien. Yeah. Like that's what he is. He is an alien who has trespassed on our planet without our consent, who is what we would normally have fears of like any illegal immigrant being, which is like more powerful, more if we're dealing with World War II, then the immigration would be with Jewish people, which is like the anti-Semitism was largely around people stealing your jobs, being more intelligent than you, being better than you, and then coming to the United States and stealing all the work. So I mean, it's not
the
ridiculous.
Superman in a MAGA hat. Sorry.
Oh man.
Jesus.
That actually makes it really interesting with that narrative. Now that I'm thinking about it, the fact that Superman is then also associated with like the Nazis in the dream sequence with the stormtrooper indicators on their side. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we'll get into with notes. I think Zack Snyder, like, I don't know. I just don't like. And his films. I mean, 300. Everybody loved 300 when that came out. In eighth grade, you won't like it. Just let you know, you wouldn't like it. And everybody loved it in eighth grade. Everybody wanted to work out. But other than that, I couldn't really get through Watchmen. I think Man of Steel was fine.
I like Watchmen.
Yeah, I mean, people actually do, and they like the ultimate cut of that too, as well. But he tries to make, I think the problem is that he tries to make films for like a specific fan base. I think he tried to make a film for comic book fans. Dex, you were saying that he doesn't know Superman or Batman, and I don't know if I agree. I just think he tried to make it super niche, and then last second maybe, and I don't know this, there's videos on the internet of this you can go find, but he just last second they're like, let's throw a bunch of stuff in here to try to set this up to catch up with the MCU, and it just turned into a dumpster fire. And I think he tries to make the movie that he wants to make, but you can't do that and also be in charge of a cinematic universe. And so it ends up with this meat grinder of things just all thrown in there, and it's just like, oh, we got a finger. Ah, shit. Like, it's just like,
I think Zack Snyder is too cynical about superheroes to make a good cinematic universe. It's like you can't. That's better. You can't come to movie 2 like, I don't know if superheroes should exist. Like, dude, you've only introduced one. Like,
but at the same time, I don't think that was really Zack. I think that was more Warner Brothers trying to catch up with Marvel.
It's also this weird sort of uncanny valley, not uncanny valley. I use that term wrongly twice, but like it's this weird sort of peaks and valleys that we have of coming off some of the best superhero movies of all time in the Dark Knight trilogy, and just taking a director who is not that and then being like, hey, do that thing. We want that thing. Can you do that thing? It's just like, man, I'm like Michael Bay light over here. Like, what did we like? I don't know.
We want money. Can you give us money? Money, please.
Side note, just to fact check myself before, I was actually right. Superman is in reaction to World War II. It actually, the first Superman comic came out the year World War II started. Literally right after the invasion of Poland. So,
Jesus.
Weird.
There are also a lot of themes in here, as there was with Man of Steel, like the Christ themes and things like that. And that's always kind of been present with Superman. And do we worship these deities and things like that? But nobody would like Superman if he had like horns or something. And it's just like, he's hot. And everybody's just
and he's always been hot. Like Christopher Reeve was a fucking baddie.
And he's white. You can make that joke.
Can you imagine if a black man was just like swooping in from nowhere, like laser eye and shit, like, and destroying city, like even just burning down a fucking Target or whatever is getting black people shot. Can you imagine if a black man was flying around fighting aliens, destroying entire metropolises? Like, there's no way that would be allowed.
Killed thousands of people, and then like half of society was like, seems all right.
I want that guy on a t-shirt.
Why is that such an interesting comic book character, though? Just like the reception of basically just like take all of the Superman comics and just make it a black man and see what happens.
They would take out half of the world to kill that motherfucker.
Yeah.
They would have launched that nuke a while ago.
Apocalypse dream sequence is really about.
It turns out Superman was black.
We nuked the whole world for this.
I mean, they were kind of ready to nuke the whole world to kill Superman in this movie, and it like didn't work. But
I mean, they had that ready to go way too quick.
Holly Hunter tried her best to stop it.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Okay, so let's get into notes. 43 minutes in. We did it, guys. This is gonna be a lot. So, real quick, why did Thomas Wayne try to punch that guy? What a fucking dumb move. He has a gun.
But I think, if I'm correct,
Bringing a fist to a gunfight.
isn't that literally how he gets killed though? Like he tries
don't know.
to protect his wife and his kid.
My
And the
guy
guy
has-
ends up like
right.
flipping and like
Yeah.
shooting him.
I think
My
that
guy
is
has
consistent.
died. My guy has
Joseph
died
Cool.
so many times.
I think that is the scene. I think it's the same when they do it in the Nolan films. I think it's
Yeah.
literally the exact
I
same.
mean, that is the canon scene, yeah.
yeah.
I thought I don't know. They just no de-escalation tactics whatsoever. Like no,
Scared.
yeah, no. Hey man, don't shoot. I'm gonna punch this motherfucker. No.
He's
I was
like,
just
I
annoyed.
gotta get the gun out of his hands.
I
With a
was annoyed
fist.
by this scene because it's just like, okay, Batman's got to be in this movie. Y'all know about Batman, right? He has dead parents. Okay, his parents died. You got to see it. Here we go. He has dead parents. You remember?
I mean,
He's
He's
an
afraid of
orphan.
bats.
what
I
else?
would-
Orphan. He's
I
an
would
orphan.
I would understand if it's for that Martha moment, but first of all, they never say his mother's name is fucking Martha.
Oh,
I
that's
just
say
really,
You're supposed
they?
to know that.
what if I don't? Like,
That
I
sucks.
didn't know that that's his mom's name. I
They
had no
said it
clue.
over and over because I knew the Martha thing was coming, so I was like looking for foreshadowing of it, and they
I-
mentioned it over
Not in the very
and
beginning
over.
scene. They
They
don't
don't mention it
but
in the beginning scene, which I think like is pretty fucking important that they would. Or like
yeah,
do
they go
some-
back. They go back, and Thomas Wayne's dying on the side of the road. It's just like Martha. Like, oh, he said the
I don't
thing.
know. I also did not watch the extended cut because I didn't know we all had HBO subscriptions. I don't.
Get your money up. Come on.
I would
I
have
just
let you
bought
borrow
it on-
mine,
I
man.
just bought it on Amazon.
Oh.
For $3?
So
You gave Zack Snyder $3?
did give Zack Snyder.
You can't shit on this film anymore. You just gave him money.
I give a
Yeah,
lot of people
so-
money.
That bumps your D up to a C.
No,
Yeah.
it
really
doesn't.
does.
That's not the fucking law. In fact, I actually think because I paid money and it was so bad, it
Nope.
should be a fucking F.
so it's C for DCU.
I hate you.
No, it was even
You're like
worse.
fucking. You're like big brain energy up in here.
I can't.
Look
Fuck
at
you, RFK.
Wow.
look at the big brain on Todd. The
I'm
Run,
just gonna
Todd.
keep calling you like Robert F. Kennedy.
Robert Jesus.
That's kind of where it came from. So
But I figured that's why I'm like my
Oh,
favorite
man.
of the Kennedys.
So the shot in the beginning, it looks good, but it's also so Zack Snyder. It's crazy. Like you couldn't have put like, oh, who's directing this movie? Is it in slow mo? Oh, it's Zack Snyder.
Fucking Pearls is still trash, and I'm
Contrast.
standing.
Launched to
Yeah.
the max.
I had
Pearl-
because we're over at FCC. Where since the Snyder Cut is eventually going to come out, we've been like running down Snyder movies, and that's been like something that's been like mentioned in every one of the reviews. Is the slow motion scenes. It's like a signature Zack Snyder thing. If it doesn't have a slow motion scene, then it's not Snyder.
Looking like a PS3 cutscene, man. Like it's just like,
It's also all through an Instagram filter that I feel like I
Yes.
used on my face when I was 15.
they're
And like,
it's like sepia tone, like Nashville Instagram filter.
Yeah, that's literally all it fucking is. Like,
The somebody has gone. You can go and find this online. Somebody has gone and made YouTube videos of Man of Steel color corrected to what it really should look like. And it just looks so much better. Like his costume's actually blue.
then-
You know what I mean? So I don't know. Not Thomas Wayne. Bruce Wayne should be dead as shit from that fall. He should have died.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Or at
I
least
feel
like
like-
lost function in his legs.
Yeah.
Is that the actual origin story though? Like in the comics, like he falls into a fucking like,
Yeah, I mean, it's in Batman Begins, but his dad rescued him in that. But it's just
Is
like,
literally that is the I remember that in Batman Begins, and then
Mhm.
because it happened here again, I was like, is that Batman's actual fucking origin story? Because that sucks.
Yeah, he
That's
fell into a
right.
bat cave and got yeah.
Yes,
What?
the real life Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
back in 1987 fell into a cave.
That's fucking stupid.
Actually,
it's been
While
happening.
we're
It's
here-
what?
I'm gonna say something weirdly controversial. I think as a Bruce Wayne, not a Batman, as Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck is He's got Christian Bale on the ropes a little bit. Like, I believe Ben Affleck
I'm
as
here for
Bruce
that.
Wayne.
I'm here for that.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Christian Bale was a shit Bruce Wayne.
I think
if I'm
Christian
being
Bale's
honest.
just hotter.
I don't know that I agree.
Hey, you know what? Since she said that, I think she would actually enjoy 300.
Yeah,
Really?
maybe.
Yeah.
Is Christian Bale
It's a
in
bunch.
300?
No, it's just a bunch
No.
of shirtless guys.
I love shirtless
And
guys.
Gerard Butler and nobody else I remember.
I fucking love
Whoa.
Gerard Butler.
Michael
Fassbender's in that movie.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender.
Fassbender is hung as hell. Do y'all remember when
No,
his
I don't
nudes
remember.
leaked?
What?
No, I've not seen Michael
When I was
Fassbender's
15
thing,
years old,
unfortunately.
Michael Fassbender's nudes leaked, and that's the first time I ever saw a naked man.
That's the first. It was Michael Fassbender. Was when you realized your
Wow.
That was
sexuality.
the first penis.
No,
you
I
ever
already
saw.
knew my sexuality. I just had never seen a naked man before. And I was like, and then his nudes leaked from a movie he did. So he like was naked in a film, and they didn't show his crotch, but then someone like I guess took photos on set really shittily, and they leaked. It was weird.
I'm sure that's all him. It wasn't like 15 minutes of like going and fluffing or anything like that. That's all him. Walked out on a cold set that day. That's all him.
Fassy.
The fast
He's so
man.
pretty. He's
What
so
were we
cute.
talking about?
I don't know. I got just
Fassbender's
sidetracked.
dick. Keep up.
I was about to start asking questions about X-Men and the Alien films that he's in.
Dude, he's so good as what's his fucking name?
Oh, Magneto?
Yeah, Magneto. I was gonna call him Incognito because I'm a fucking idiot.
Okay, so we got to get to this, and it's the opening scene. And he's coming there. We just gotta power through, guys. The opening scene is like it cuts back to the Man of Steel thing, but from Bruce Wayne's perspective. My whole question was this: is that billionaire Bruce Wayne just running through the street?
No one cares.
Nobody
still
stops
there?
him and asks him questions because Superman's like destroying Metropolis and he has property there, and we all know that Batman's about his paper.
Is this truly about capitalism?
Yes.
I like how your takeaway is it's him running. That whole scene is just a Jeep Renegade commercial.
It was a good one.
Look at this Jeep's handling through a crumbling city.
It was a great one.
Billionaire Bruce Wayne drives a Jeep
Renegade.
The entry-level Jeep.
He flew in there on a $1 million helicopter.
The high-end version is like $16,000.
Yeah.
Available at CarMax.
I'm curious if Elon Musk drives a Renegade. Sells Teslas, but he has a fucking Renegade.
Jeff Bezos drives a Kia Sorento.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
it's like
really
LeBron
drive
doing
some
the Kia Optima
stupid-ass
commercials.
car. My friend's in Austin. I have a friend that lives like right by him in his house in Austin. He is like, and apparently, like, he does have a stupid ass car in his property in Austin. It's like something like a Suburban.
Stupid. Suburban.
But hey, you know what? That's how rich people keep their money.
Yeah.
Doesn't Kawhi Leonard drive like a 97 Tahoe or something like
Yeah,
that?
he drives like a fucking Tahoe.
Jeff is a frugal $58 billion heir.
Anyway,
almost.
Half of
what
that
I wanted to
money
know
is,
about
going to
this
his wife.
opening
Anyway.
Bruce Wayne scene was, bro, what the fuck are you about to go do? Like, you're just a regular ass man right now, running into a dust
He's gonna
cloud.
lift some steel beams.
Man, one of those brick walls falls on you. You're out, son. Like, that's how you work.
I like how
You're
he's
not
just,
even in your costume. You don't have any gadgets. You're just a regular ass man. What the fuck are you running so fast into this fucking battle for?
but he's somehow also rapid fire saving people, like left and fucking right. He's like, ooh, get this beam off this man's leg. Also, save this child that's randomly here.
What I love about this scene, though, is he has to call the guy Jack and be like, get out of the building. And he's like, oh, yeah, maybe we should. Like, what the fuck is that? The buildings are crashing. You have humans, or not human, you have aliens flying through at the speed of sound through the middle of these buildings. And everybody's just like standing around going, whoa, like, maybe let's leave.
Sounds very coronavirus-esque.
Oh,
Kind
well,
of just,
yeah.
late response.
None of us respect our own safety.
The Jack died, and I literally did not care.
I didn't either.
I didn't give a shit. Jack! I was like, cool.
Jack's
Who
gonna
the fuck
die, and
is
it's gonna
Jack?
piss off Batman. Oh shit!
Yeah.
I still stick with my A.
I feel like Snyder, this is what I did write down. I was like, Snyder just went way too overboard because he didn't know he was going to get a sequel. He went way too overboard in Man of Steel and then had to walk it back. Like, it's just like, how do we explain this away? And there's like thousands of people died. Batman's a little sad.
It's like, fuck, man.
I was going to say, go ahead.
Oh no, in a sense that really is what pisses off Batman to make him want to kill Superman, is the fact that he deems Superman this crazy threat that doesn't take precautions. He just destroys shit at all costs to defeat whatever enemy he's fighting.
In his
then
defense,
Batman starts racking up bodies the rest of this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Batman has an insane kill count for somebody who's like, you're too fucking dangerous to be on the street.
But I think that also in turn kind of flips the film, because now he's a hypocrite. So now you're kind of trying to pick sides and you really don't know.
Well,
I mean,
I'm on Superman's side personally.
Batman's point is, I think, that
definitely.
there can only be one destructive force on this planet, and it's me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Until
I
the
would
end
pick
of
the
the
guy with the
movie.
laser eyes. But
the guy that can fly, that one. The one that doesn't have to take a car to go solve crimes.
The one who is actually called a superhero and not the world's best detective.
The one that doesn't have to throw a smoke bomb to get away from things.
We're going to piss off a lot of Batman fans.
Yeah. Shazam!
My
this is
favorite
the
thing
Batman
is
slander account.
My favorite thing is in the
It's his
first
favorite
Alan
Twitter account
West.
now.
In the first Alan West Batman episode, Batman gets his drink drugged, and it's my favorite episode because he just gets really fucked up.
My favorite Batman Alan West thing is the shark repellent. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Go on YouTube and look at Alan West shark repellent. They sprayed literally like Raid on a shark that's like biting his leg, and then it falls into the ocean and explodes. It's incredible. It's incredible. Go look that up.
They stole that from Jaws.
Yeah. Okay. So I was gonna say I didn't know if Scoot McNairy was going to come, but I was like, criminal misuse of Scoot McNairy as dude with broken legs. Like, I was like, is that the only time they're gonna use him? Obviously they didn't, but like I was just like, wow, that's Scoot McNairy. Poor guy. Horse soldiers. Superman killed that general through that wall, right?
I mean,
That man's dead, right?
yeah.
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 Not the Incredibles where you just like get a full body cast. You're being thrown
What
through
if he
several
was?
walls.
Just like in traction, just like
we have a cut scene of him in a hospital. He can't move his mouth.
But that's what the extended cut does good. It kind of shows the whole framing of turning Superman into a villain by the Lex Luthor's evil plot.
the thing
And
that
then
didn't make sense that I didn't think would like anybody would actually fall for is like, oh, these people were clearly burned with a torch and not laser eyes. Like, what the fuck was that? Where everybody instantaneously agreed. They were like, yeah, this was laser eyes. Nothing else can light things on fire.
Sounds like the government.
I mean, to be fair, how many laser-eyed bodies have you ever researched, right? I don't know. They know exactly how that goes.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But they're so
He's
quick to be like, Superman definitely killed these people.
Wow.
I mean, he killed the general, so like he
We
was
still
already
believe
killing.
that jet fuel can melt steel beams.
Oh, no.
So,
Oh, no.
I'm kidding,
All
I'm
right,
kidding.
we're gonna go.
I'm so
Podcast is
kidding.
canceled.
Podcast.
Caitlin's
One
gonna get us.
podcast. This is our last episode. It's unreal.
Caitlin's gonna get us killed.
No, that
She's
would
trying
have
to cancel herself for months now.
That would have happened months
It's
ago.
not working.
As I've said before, if we get canceled, it's because we meant it.
He stands by that.
Okay. Let's see. I just said Batman perched up in the corner when those cops are in there and they look up and Batman's just standing in the corner. Like, that was objectively the funniest thing I've ever seen on film. He's just like looking at him like this. Like, can you imagine going into a room and then just a grown ass 6'2" Ben Affleck is just perched in the corner and you're just like, what's up, man? He's just like, if you did that, if you were that actual cop, I would have had the same reaction because he looks up, he's like, oh fuck, like he's just like,
that is the worst case scenario people are imagining when they like go in their bathroom and like peel back the shower curtain. That's what they're picturing. It's fucking Batman in the fucking corner of the shower.
Just sitting there, just staring at you like, get the fuck out. What are we doing?
Like arms spread out across the corner.
What are you doing?
What are you? Close the shower curtain. I'm taking a shit. Close the door.
Where are they?
Where's the toilet paper?
Holy shit.
Do you have any flushable wipes? I clogged your toilet.
Oh,
I don't want dingleberries.
This is the clip that's getting tweeted out.
When you can't laugh, so you just scream.
Do you have a plunger? I took a bad shit in your toilet. You're being the worst house guest right now. Sorry, I'm Batman.
Oh my god. I have actual tears in my eyes.
That's incredible.
Can I buy some of your underwear? It was tough getting the suit off.
Oh my god.
I've never seen Royden riff before, but that was
I know, it's incredible.
Oh,
my god.
that was funny.
It's literally though the thing that when you're real scared of, like when you turn the light off and run up the stairs, like that's what you're like, that's what you're picturing behind you as Batman just going like after you.
Like that fucking scene where it jumps off the fucking projector.
Yeah.
Batman.
Jesus Christ. I mean, just 6 foot, like 240-pound Ben Affleck just perched in the corner, and that guy was surprised as fuck. He was just like, oh shit. Like, the football player sitting here in the background. Anyway. And then he nearly shoots his friend in the face.
It's like fair reaction, honestly.
Yeah. Which I thought terrible shot because he aimed right at that guy and missed with the shotgun. So I don't know.
Do you know who's not a terrible shot? Apparently fucking Lex Luthor, because apparently he plays fucking basketball. Like, that's a scene that we
Yeah, because that's totally Jesse Eisenberg shooting that shot for sure.
He plays basketball.
Let's see. Henry Cavill's hot as fuck. That's fine. Yeah.
Are we onto the scene now where he's like talking to Lois Lane while she's in the tub? Because that was the funniest shit ever.
So hot.
Let me fuck you in the tub, bitch. We can wait 2 seconds.
My favorite part about Henry Cavill is he has my old nose before I got a nose job, and yet he's still hot. So I find that really just encouraging.
Is that just a flex so everybody can know you have a nose job?
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't.
My favorite part about this scene is that
I
Lois
had
Lane-
a nose job.
Favorite part about this scene is that Caitlyn got a nose job.
But Lois Lane is like, I don't know if it's possible for us to like be together or whatever. I don't remember the
Your
exact
nose
line.
is so terrible.
You brought flowers?
Then immediately Henry
Where's
Cavill
the
just
fat
hops into the
nose?
tub like, you know what the fuck is possible? This dick. Let's go right now.
I'll show you my Man of Steel.
It's possible. This dick.
Sponsored by Pornhub.
Wonderful. I'll watch it.
Down, down.
I'd watch it.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it was just like, how mad would you be in real life? Like, dude, we got to clean that. We don't have that many towels right now. Like, it's just like,
he did throw all the water out of the tub, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got in there with like his shoes on.
Yeah, that's really
Ew.
the part that threw me off.
You've been
I was
walking
like,
around
that's fucking
downtown
nasty.
Metropolis. Like, gross.
That's
Just
gross.
took a bath. What the fuck?
Bitch, I tried to get clean.
Exactly. So Alfred is also a scientist and a butler.
And a daddy.
And a daddy. Jeremy Irons.
Why is Alfred so hot? That makes no sense.
I don't know. He's got the scruff. He's got the horn rim glasses, and he's always wearing like some sort of tweed jacket.
He looks like a hot professor fantasy, and you're like, why?
There's literally a scene like
you know what Caitlin's into.
I am in academia. Continue.
There's literally a scene of him chopping wood with rolled up sleeves, and he puts it in a wood thing and like hauls it in, and I'm just like, okay. Like I was like, all right, like
Borderline erotic.
Yeah,
this was erotic.
You can be my Uncle Scar.
Why do we keep going back to this?
I bet I bet you smell like rich mahogany and burgundy.
So is the only thing we're all collectively agreeing is this movie was sexy, but bad.
Yes.
No,
as a collective, yes.
Well,
movie
has hot.
Movie has some sex appeal, but mostly Jeremy Irons.
But yeah, an actual problem with this movie, in this scene where we're like introduced to Alfred and Bruce like talking it out or whatever, Bruce Wayne like drops one of those "everything's changed now" kind of lines, and it's like, bro, we just met you 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You can't. Everything changed us. It's been 20 fucking minutes.
That's the problem with this movie overall, is I feel like you're supposed to believe that, like, I think they really relied on us knowing who Batman was, which is fine, I think, but I don't know how you do it. I don't know. I don't have the answers, which is why I do this, and I'm not a filmmaker. But go ahead, Rascal.
I don't know. For whatever reason, since it has Nolan ties, I guess they kind of wanted you to ping off of The Dark Knight, like you said earlier. And as horrible of a take that is, I also think that's kind of what they were hoping the fan base did, was you've already had 3 Batman movies, and he went through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But now we've given you a Superman movie, and now we're going to give you a reason that Batman wants to kill Superman. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're also supposed to, like I said, aged him up, and he's now this alcohol painkiller dependent, superhero, which is fine, which is like, you could see an actual man that gets beat up for no money to have that kind of dependency. But I just like, Dex, I agree where they're just like, things are different now. Like, why? Gotham's still shitty.
I think that's the reason why this shouldn't have been placed in the series the way it was. Like, I wish there was like a couple movies before this movie happened.
There could have been a Batman movie, could have been another Superman movie.
Because then I would have been more on board with this. But it's like, literally, you should have paced this the way that Civil War was paced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's like the same fucking film. And that was well placed. I don't know.
What the fuck is Jesse Eisenberg doing?
The entire time? That's such a good question.
I don't know what he's doing. What his choices were baffling. I have no idea what he's trying to do. And obviously he's trying to be some sort of like probably schizophrenic, like super genius thing. But the little, like, there's a video online that you can find of the little noises that he makes where it's just like, and you're just like, it's so unnerving, and I hated it.
It also feels so much more Joker-esque, like early Joker versus like a Lex Luthor figure. Because like maybe it's because I only ever saw the TV show Smallville, but I have a very definitive idea of what Lex Luthor is like, and I feel like he's way more controlled than Jesse Eisenberg was.
Or
like
any other portrayal of him in any of the animated films or anything like that, where it's just like he's kind of this menacing, like he's not a superhero, but he's this kind of in control, menacing dude. He's
literally just like capitalism as a figure, and it's like, I feel like this Like, I don't know. It just,
See, but
I
like,
wanted a more controlled person.
I think capitalism as a figure in like 2016, whenever this came out, looks a lot like a nerdy Jesse Eisenberg, like more
I
than it
see
does
it.
like some like intimidating dude.
I
Like,
completely agree with that, but then I wish he would have done basically what he did in fucking Social Network. Like, because I think you could have done a Lex Luthor that looks a little bit like a Mark Zuckerberg. Like,
That is Lex Luthor.
yeah, and that's
I
like,
mean, literally, Jesse. I mean, literally, Jeff
Actually,
Bezos
that would be Jeff
is.
Bezos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Jeff Bezos.
but like, do you know, like bald, yeah, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have liked. I don't feel like
I
it's this
also
manic.
think it had a lot to do with the fact that he was technically, and I'm guessing we're gonna get more of this in Justice League. He was kind of in communication with Apocalypse in a way, and I think that had a lot to do with it, kind of driving him crazy. Because once you get in touch with a whole other planet, and that's like your soul thing, is you're trying to open up a gateway for Darkseid to come to Earth, you're gonna go a little crazy.
But
Fair enough.
it was like he didn't start connecting to the Kryptonian stuff until like halfway through the movie. I was like he was weird in the beginning. He was like putting Jolly Ranchers in dudes' mouths, stop.
No, yeah, exactly. I would buy that, and I think you're right, but I think like it would have been cooler to see an arc into insanity. Like, I think that would have been very believable to me, that you have this like controlled Mark Zuckerberg figure that goes fucking crazy. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Personally, I wrote down that like his performance was like interesting to me and like cool to watch, but I was like, this script is really fucking bad. Like all the things, all the things that he's saying, it's like that doesn't like follow like
that's the other
with
thing.
what you just said.
That's the other thing, is I don't know how much of his choices were actually just scripted choices that were just not good. Like, as much as it was his choice, like at the end of the day, or like directorial decisions, like I don't know how much that's on.
Who can we blame for this movie? That's the question.
I generally trust Jesse Eisenberg, so that's why I'm a little bit like, why was this kind of off? Like,
we're the
pretty
real
much
villains.
the entire debate about DC movies is whether you want to blame Warner Brothers, you want to blame Zack Snyder, you want to blame the actors, or you want to blame the fans. Like, there's somebody to blame in all of it.
Warner Brothers.
I think the movie studio has a lot to do with it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Because if you really think about it, Warner Brothers has handled so many other things damn near perfect. So for them to keep screwing up with DC the way that they do, it's kind of mind-boggling.
It's crazy to me, man. I do not know how you have the most popular superheroes. Like fucking MCU came out with Iron Man. Nobody liked Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they were able to do that. Like the fucking dude that shoots a bow and arrow. Like and everybody's like, yeah, sure, absolutely.
It also comes from, I guess, screenwriter choices. Because normally, whenever you look at a Zack Snyder movie, he usually, if I'm not mistaken, for the first, I think between 300 and Watchmen, if I'm not mistaken from the research that I did, it's damn near the same writing team. And they kind of switched the writing team on him whenever he got to the DC movies. Well, after Watchmen, whenever he got to like Superman and Batman. And I think if they would have kept the same writer team together, you probably would have gotten something completely different.
I think that must be also true, because like I'm also thinking of the films I think that have been successful for DC. Like I'm thinking of like Birds of Prey, which just came out, and I think it helped that Margot Robbie's production team was actually in charge of that one versus like what's normally part of production. So I think that it might have to do with who's distributing it and selecting production companies.
What do we mean by successful? Because that movie kind of tanked.
It tanked, but I think everyone agrees that it was a good film.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of liked it, but I'm just like, it like didn't do well.
It didn't do well, but that's pretty typical with female-led.
Well, Wonder Woman did numbers, and Zack Snyder was the producer.
Yeah, it's I think it was the writing team, if I'm not mistaken. And let me just look this up really quick. And I know Jake sometimes has this stuff on deck, but like the writing team was had their hands in the Dark Knight trilogy as well, and they kind of brought them over from that. But the problem is you're working with Christopher Nolan as opposed to working with Zack Snyder. And not to say that Zack Snyder can't make movies, but I just don't think he's
Also, it's just like the level of directorial control they were probably going to allow Zack Snyder to have versus Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Like, Christopher Nolan had already made a name for himself as being like one of the biggest figures in directing at that point. Like, he had already done Memento and bullshit like that. So I think like the level of directorial control they were probably willing. Memento is one of my favorite films. Memento is one of my favorite films. Like, but I'm just saying that like he had already established himself like as more of like.
Yeah, David S. Goyer worked on this in Man of Steel, but he was also from The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and The Dark Knight Rises. But I think the one that probably had the most input was Chris Terrio, because he was carried over from this to Justice League. But he also wrote Argo. Yeah, I mean, but he also wrote Argo. So I don't really know. I love Argo, but
also Nolan had as much as nobody wants to talk about it, Nolan had a lot to do with this movie too.
Yeah.
Because he was literally he was like trying to keep the execs from touching the movie.
I don't know. Who do we blame? Yeah, but
I don't know. I'm also, obviously, by the way, when I'm talking about like something being successful, I don't mean numbers, because this film has great numbers.
Yes.
And I do not think it is a successful film. So
it's got okay numbers.
It did. I mean, it made its budget back in a half.
I don't find that inherently successful in terms of art. Like, I don't know if that's good art. Like,
oh, you would consider this art?
I don't. But I do consider Birds of Prey art. I think that one actually is like a good commentary.
This is art you buy in a.
We're not going to talk about that.
Panera
I won't
bread.
get into Birds of Prey, but I literally would write my thesis on it. I think it's really well constructed.
I would like to come back for Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey redo.
I will come back for that.
All right.
Hey, you gotta have Teddy back on too.
I'll watch it again just for the breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, I would fuck that breakfast
That
sandwich.
breakfast sandwich scene is
I
so
think
funny.
about it weekly. That is the sandwich I think about a lot.
Isn't that the boy when that was the most memorable thing from that movie though? Where like
I am more sexually attracted to that sandwich than I am Margot
Robbie.
Wow.
That's where I am in my life.
No, that's not a commentary on Margot Robbie because she is fine, but God, that sandwich was so good.
Fine.
Billionaires definitely watch underground human cockfighting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is a thing that exists.
That's a real thing.
It should if it doesn't.
You're like, Tex, when I become a billionaire, if it doesn't exist, I'm starting it up.
Poor people get UFC, rich people get the shit.
Oh
It's
yeah,
right there.
rich people buy poor people to fight for sport.
I think UFC literally putting dudes on an island to fight right now.
Fuck yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
literally like, oh man, this guy split his skull in two. We can't get him off the island. Like shit. This is my only note about Superman ever for all the overarching theme of Superman for me. Man, this mild-mannered reporter looks a lot like Superman.
Oh yeah, they did nothing to change him at all.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's canon, though.
It is very much.
But it like Zack Snyder like rejects so much like shit that he thinks is stupid about superheroes.
But I mean, like, it's the
But
same with
not
Christopher
that.
Reeve. They did the exact same fucking. This is the tradition.
That's what I'm saying. Zack Snyder like veers from tradition so much in this movie. Why not that?
Let me put on these glasses so I'll be irrecognizable.
Like you would think Zack Snyder would be the kind of guy that would be like, Bruce Wayne's supposed to be the world's greatest detective. How can he not figure out that the reporter he's talking to at this party looks exactly like Superman?
Though to be fair, Lex Luthor figures it out really fucking fast. He's like,
fucking Batman's been doing too many pills. He's been watching all those movies. He's like, where have I seen you before?
Lex literally is like, I'm 99% sure that Clark Kent is Superman.
He like shakes his hand. Oh, what a grip. You're like, no shit.
He knows right then. He's like, I've fucking seen you before.
Batman has to drive all the way back to Alfred and be like, think that guy was Superman.
But the
Yeah,
best
no
thing
fucking
about the
shit.
party scene where they get introduced is that Gal Gadot is there.
Gal Gadot looking
And
like
it's just
a
like,
snack
hey,
and a half.
you know that this is Gal Gadot, who we cast as Wonder Woman. We like announced and everything. Here she is. She's at this party. See, look, here
Yeah.
she is.
She's at
Look,
the party.
Wonder Woman. She's here.
Batman doesn't have like go home and wake up in the middle of the night with like sarcastic comments he should have said or something like that. Like he doesn't even think about like embarrassing moments. He just wakes up in the middle of the night and he's like, I think Clark Kent is stupid.
Just sits up. That was definitely Superman. God damn it.
I gotta go back to Kentucky.
Fuck.
No, yeah. So Gal Gadot's in that scene, and I just have this note.
That she's hot.
Dex doesn't think that Gal Gadot is fine.
Gal Gadot is objectively hot. And
I'm going to need you to go back and watch every Fast movie that she's in,
She's hot.
Batman versus Superman, and Wonder Woman, and then come back to me.
She's really hot.
Explain
Okay.
yourself, sir. You had this take, and I
Florence Pugh.
Hey, don't disrespect. This is a Florence Pugh household. But anyway,
Explain
It's
yourself
fine.
in your bag.
That's just like sorority girl looking motherfuckers, and he doesn't like some women that look like they won Miss Israel.
Yeah, right. Crazy
I
how
don't
that-
know what that says about sorority girl membership. I think they take Israelites usually, but anyway.
Dude, I don't know. As a Jew, they're not very nice to us in general at sororities.
Do y'all even
There's
have
a-
sororities at Rice?
No, there's not. But my friend at UT had a lot of trouble getting in, and she was like very stereotypical. Like,
Anyway, my take on Gal Gadot is that she's definitely not ugly, and like I can see why people are
she's
attracted to her.
definitely not ugly.
I just am unmoved. Like I just don't care. Like if nobody had ever told me Gal Gadot is supposed to be like one of the hottest people on earth, I would have never like come to that conclusion myself.
Do you also not think Scarlett Johansson's hot? Like, where are you on this? Like,
I don't. Why are those the comparisons?
because they're like objectively like the most like they're part of that club of women that are considered like objectively the most beautiful. Like,
I can agree.
I don't know that that's
yes,
true,
right?
but I do think Scarlett Johansson is hot, but
She's
like,
a
I don't
trash
know.
person for taking the roles that she takes,
She's-
but
There are a lot of hot people that are bad people, and most of the time, people who have always been hot are bad. So
Look, we don't have to forgive Gal Gadot for the Imagine video that she put out, but
Gal Gadot.
she is objectively one of the best looking people in Hollywood, and I don't know why why you have this take.
Honestly, also, dude, like the most controversial thing she's ever done is literally make that Imagine video. So really, in the grand scheme of
Which
things,
sucks. That sucks so bad.
it sucks
That
so bad.
sucks.
But if that's the worst that Gal Gadot does,
Yeah, we're okay.
Wasn't her
It's-
whole like military service like problematic?
yeah, that's
Problematic.
not problematic. You can't call that problematic. Everyone in Israel is forced to. Like she doesn't have a choice. If she was living in Israel, she has to be in the army.
Yeah,
Like you
That's-
don't get it. You
yeah.
don't get an option.
that's tough to call something that is like problematic.
But
whether
it's still
It's
like
not
you know,
fair. Like she doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
I
don't think
don't
that's.
know. I feel like a lot of people would find
We're
that
gonna
worse
steer
than
away
the
from that.
Imagine video. We are. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. I just am unmoved by Gal Gadot's beauty. I don't know. She's
It's like,
not
she
ugly.
has the
It's
back
fine.
of my dreams. I wish I had her back.
Me
Like
too.
in
Her
that
back is
fucking
very long.
backless gown, I was like, "Fuck you for having a perfect back." out.
Let's see. Of course, he does Bruce Wayne. We just used to freaks dressed as clowns. Just like, oh, is the Leo pointing meme? It's just Joker.
Yeah.
You're just like, he did the thing. Wow, the white savior thing with the Day of the Dead stuff is
Bad.
not great when you're looking at it. And I get why they did it because it's like a cool shot with the Day of the Dead, and but it's also just like literally white say coming out of the sky with a Hispanic woman And you're just like, all right. And they're all reaching to him like a savior. And I guess that was sort of the Christ thing that they were trying to go with. But
but it's like you can do other things for a cool shot that doesn't make your entire movie feel very exploitive. Like, it felt weird.
Yeah. I maybe y'all didn't see it that way, but I was, when I saw that, I was like, that's kind of a white savior thing.
I also did, but I'm also an English major, and I meant to see everything.
Third time she's brought it up.
Hi, guys. Not only do I do comedy, but I am in academia.
I will say that I didn't see the white savior thing in that scene, but I was like, all the discourse that takes place about Superman in this movie, in real life, it would be at least this annoying, if not more.
Oh,
probably more.
Yeah. They didn't even get to the tweets about this.
Superman reads mean tweets.
Wait, isn't that Kimmel's show?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Superman reads. Those are some Superman reads mean tweets. I don't even know. He didn't
Superman carpool karaoke.
This guy's
Superman carpool karaoke. He gets in.
This guy's weakness is a green gym.
Gets him the
Alan's
Jeep
like,
Renegade.
hey, I picked up a guest for you. Guess who it fucking is? And Superman's like, who? And it's like, it's your mother,
Batman.
fucking Clark Kent, you dumb bitch.
The it's Batman, yeah.
Fight.
What are you
Fighting
doing?
the Renegade.
Do the Renegade.
Just James Corden. Oi, mate, Superman, I can't get to the show. Can you please come carpool karaoke? And he's like, dude, I can just fly you to the fucking thing. No, it's for a bit. I promise.
Superman's like, my one weakness is I can't sing.
Can't carry a tune, but I can carry this car. Let's see. The dumb Jimmy Kimmel or the dumb Jimmy Fallon thing where it's like voice impressions, but it's clearly ones that they all know how to do.
Yeah.
Wheel of impressions, but it's all just like 3 voices that Jimmy Fallon can do.
If they do it with Superman, it's just fucking Batman over and over again, sing Wheels on the Bus like Batman. Wheels on the Bus.
Oh my God. Let's see. What is the post-apocalyptic dream scene? Like that is such a weird turn because it's like a dream within a dream within a dream. It is such a weird
It
thing.
starts out in a hilarious way, though, because he inserts the hard drive and we watch it go from 01 to 02. And it's just Ben Affleck, like, confused staring at it. It's really kind of funny.
I don't know, man. The thing with that, it was interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm guessing it was either injustice related. Oh no, what were you gonna say, Dex? I'll go after.
No,
you.
go ahead, because my point is dumb, and you sound like you're talking about an actual comic book.
Yeah, from what I could gather, it looked like it was either really pointing towards Flashpoint or pointing towards injustice. I'm hoping it was more Flashpoint. I don't know if anybody's ever watched it or if you've ever read the comic, but basically Flash goes back in time, saves his mom like a dumbass, and he basically resets the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of Bruce Wayne's parents dying, Bruce Wayne dies. His mother becomes the Joker. His dad becomes Batman.
I know what you're talking
and it's
about.
just all kind of, yeah. So, I mean, in that alternate timeline, a lot of things go crazy, but it doesn't point to that at the same time because Superman has godlike control. So that points it towards more injustice. And if you've seen Injustice, Lois Lane dies. Yeah.
Especially in the video games too, because that kind of is what I was reminded of when they were like facing off or looking at each other like that. But it's just like, it is an interesting thing to think about if Superman was just a dickhead, like what would happen, because nothing can, like, you can't stop it. So it's just like, what? And that's the Superman problem.
I don't remember what it's called, but I think they just put out a horror movie.
Brightburn.
Earlier.
Yeah, Brightburn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brightburn is really good.
What if Superman, but Damien from The Omen? And so yeah, that scene was interesting. We don't have to really go into it. It's a scene that I think everybody kind of remembers from this movie. That and the Martha scene. But
I mean, it's just cool. It does not belong in the movie, but it's cool to have Mad Max suddenly show up out of nowhere.
I was gonna say Mad Max.
Also, there's the
Batman
big ass Omega symbol in the ground. Do you think Superman just spent like a day like, I'm gonna do some art here on the Earth really quick?
Well,
laser eye this.
Little landscaping.
The Omega symbol is technically dark side, so I'm guessing that's what they were aiming
This is
at.
why we have you on. You know things.
You have like this expertise.
But yeah, what I was gonna say about the scene where Batman is like whipping ass in the desert is that there's one guy where like he just rolls up to him and just like smacks the shit out of his leg and knocks him over, and like everybody else is getting shot. This one guy manages to escape just getting smacked in the fucking leg, and nothing else happens to him.
He gets out of the 18-wheeler trailer, he pistols a bunch of people, and then rifle whips a bunch of people. Like, no, just flip the thing around, then you can shoot him. You don't have to beat him with the back of the gun. That's not what it's for.
But yeah, he just like smacked this guy in the back of the leg, makes him flip over, and that guy just falls out and lays there while everyone else is getting shot. It's like, bro, if you don't get your bitch ass up and like start trying to shoot Batman again.
The funniest thing with that though is when they're all trying to hold him down, and literally Batman takes a guy that's kneeling next to him and shoves him into the ground like that. I'm like, that actually would probably happen if he's still trying to get out. He just shoves that dude down into the fucking
I don't understand the Locust people, and I don't understand why Superman Kalima is Batman's heart in the sequence.
Yeah, I don't know.
Another nod to injustice.
It's.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You're good.
Reverting back to that.
No, do it.
You're providing context that none of us know.
I literally would
just
never know this.
Like, you bring an actual validity to this. We were just like, what if Batman had to take a shit?
Yeah. I like how you're
what would that look like?
I like how you're apologizing for being informed. We all have bad opinions that aren't based in anything.
We are dumb people.
We're stupid idiots over here.
We're like
just
drinking the dum juice. Like, you actually have like facts.
Yeah, so they come out of the dream sequence, of course, the Flashpoint thing, and was that a dream? We don't know. And am I too early? I want to see that movie, though. I do want to see the Flashpoint movie.
But that's what's weird, is that you kind of rush out Batman versus Superman, and then you're jumping to Flashpoint. Like, there's no solo superhero movies. You're kind of just throwing these mega comic book events out there, which is cool, and I guess it's for people who read the comics, but get the outside general audience as well, which is what Marvel does good, which is why I solely blame Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I was like, Marvel knows how to make superhero movies for everyone. DC knows how to make superhero movies for Joker lover 69.96. 420. Let's see. Yeah, so Batman just kills in this. He's just a killer. He is a murderer.
And a moper.
Yeah. Let's see. The "do you bleed" line is cool, but then he just says, when he said, "Do you bleed?" and he flew off, that would have been cool if they cut it. Then he goes, "You will." And I was like, ah!
Yeah, it kind of took all the juice out of that one.
Yeah, you will. Probably not, to be honest. If we're being honest, probably not. You have to take the subway. So, I don't think you can make Superman bleed.
It's just like this movie thinks we're stupid a little bit, though, because it's like, I get what you mean when you're asking, do you bleed? You don't need to add on, like, you
will.
fucking will. Like, I get it. The threat's there. We all know. Like.
And just eyes rolled through the back of my head when he's like, you will. I was like, you got to take a taxi home. He just butt fucked your car. Like, I don't know what.
And he just did it because he could. There was no real reason.
Yeah.
The bat's dead. Bury it.
Superman just came through to flex real quick.
Damn.
I
like,
can
dude,
fly and shoot lasers, bitch.
I was chasing your mortal enemy down, and you what? Why? You know how much that costs? Jesus. Let's see. Love how it just threw out butt fucks. Ugh, what was that?
You're just really embracing, I think, a like 8th grade version of you.
Yeah. Terrible. The juxtaposition though of Superman walking through the suits to get to testify is actually kind of cool. I actually did like that shot where he kind of walks in and they're all like, "Oh fuck." That is actually kind of interesting where he does that and then he just kind of stands there. Of course, he isn't there for 2 minutes before we have grandma's peach tea in a piss jar.
Yeah, what? Something.
I mean, it's
Lex
Holly Hunter.
So Lex tells the senator. Well, no, she tells him that he can piss in a cup and tell her it's grandma's peach tea. So he gives her peach tea in a cup, and it's kind of a slap in the face because.
But I was just like, how did she see that and immediately go, there's a fucking bomb? Because you can tell on her face, she's immediately like...
Well, she also saw that like Lex Luthor wasn't there, too.
Yeah, it's like in Game of Thrones. Like, when it's like, says he's not here,
it was
some
just
shit's
like
about to go down.
Because, like, I don't know, it was just a weird moment where you could tell, obviously, like, that's the whole, like, drama of the scene is that she fucking knows, like, suddenly. But I'm also just like... How? Like,
pissing grandma's peach tea.
But then Superman also just like doesn't know. Like he like knows at the very last minute. Like he's like, oh.
There was no way for him to know.
Well, because Superman can't see through lead, so I'm guessing that's what they based the bottom of the wheelchair with. So there's no way that he could see the bomb.
Because that's what I was wondering. Because I was like, how does he not fucking know? And that's like not explained. But I was like, he should be able to see it. Like,
is that not in the regular cut? Because in the ultimate,
it's not in the regular cut.
It's in the ultimate cut. He says, or somebody says it.
Lois Lane.
There's no indication in the regular cut on why, which I think is interesting. There's no indication in the regular cut on why he didn't know.
He says he didn't see it in the extended cut. He says he didn't see it. He wasn't looking for it as well. He kind of like blames himself. But then Lois Lane goes and tries to find what happened, and it turns out like he thought like you see him in the beginning, Wheels McGee.
We can't call every person in a wheelchair Wheels McGee, Roy.
Sorry.
This is the second time on this podcast.
Actually, it's the first because the first time that episode never came out. So
that's right. They don't know.
You just
call it terrorist Hot Wheels. Can we do that?
Yeah, the terrorist Hot Wheels. Yeah. Yeah, that's a joke that we made. But you saw him making pipe bombs and stuff, and I thought he was just gonna kill himself on the statue or something like that, make a point. But but then they go and she finds out that he wasn't gonna kill himself because he just bought food, which I guess is a way of thinking that you're gonna live for a little bit longer. And
it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like
why would you buy groceries?
I'm not gonna make my grilled cheeses and then just like off myself. Like I got like 3 different kinds of cheese in here.
I just spent money on a Gruyere. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
You got to take out before you
got some Colby Jack and turkey over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this guy's gonna live for a while.
That's how you know in criminal investigations. If he recently bought groceries,
he bought a lot of
play.
Yeah, he bought a lot of non-perishables. There's like peanut butter and everything. I think he thought he was gonna live.
It's got a stock
The
for
world's
apocalypse.
greatest detective, Batman.
This was Lois Lane.
Yeah, that was
the world's
Lois Lane.
greatest journalist.
Investigative journalism.
Yeah, I think we should take that title for Batman then.
Yeah,
Really
exactly.
Lois.
No, so like and she finds out that he was gonna he wanted to live apparently. So they did.
Yeah, and they wrapped the wheelchair in lead so Superman couldn't see.
Okay,
through it,
yeah,
'cause
that's not
apparently
mentioned
Lex
at all.
Luthor like figured out that Superman can't see through
Somewhere
it.
in there, yeah.
That's interesting though, because that's a major plot hole that I was wondering when I was watching it. So that's interesting that that's in the extended cut, but not in the regular version.
Blame
know,
Warner
it's just
Brothers.
Interesting, because it's like it's definitely very confusing when you're watching it. We're like, how doesn't he fucking know?
Yeah, I saw him making the bomb, and I didn't think though that they would still blow up the Capitol. Like that's heavy for this movie. All of a sudden, you're just like some a lot of casualties and everything, but like a pipe bomb and a chair, like you're just like, oh shit.
And then after the bomb goes off, Lois Lane is outside, like, here, I'm with the fucking Daily Planet or whatever the newspaper is called. Let me inside this active crime scene
and
where
they're
a
like,
bomb just blew up the Senate.
The bomb just blew up a ton of senators, and she's just like, I can get in, right? No. What are you doing? Like, they're not going to let you in. That's like the most lenient thing. I'm with a paper. Let me in. Like, hi, I'm with the dying media. Can you let me in, please?
I'm dying media.
Let's see. Jeremy Irons, J. Crew catalog. CrossFit Batman. When did he make that metal suit? He just kind of shows up in it.
Yeah,
That's
true.
It's a suit from the comics, but I can't remember which one it's from.
Yeah. Let's see. Who did he say this line to? Is like, oh fuck, what is she goes, "Don't I know you?" or something like that. I forget. I think it was Jesse Eisenberg talking to. Oh no, it was Lois Lane talking to the hitman that had been killing a bunch of people when she was walking down the stairs and she gets kidnapped for the first time. She's walking down the escalator and she doubles back and goes up to the guy. Who's like, "Don't I know you?" Like, yeah, bitch, he's a murderer.
Dude, you want to do that though. That's like a very fun fact as a woman. Apparently that's a big self-defense thing that you really want to do.
Just call people out?
No, like straight up, because then they know you fucking have seen them.
Yeah,
So,
like
but not
terrible
whenever
people,
you're by
not
yourself.
black market assassins.
Oh no, you want to do it even when you're by yourself. I don't know. True crime has taught me one thing. It'll make people less likely to fucking attack you because you could pick them up in a lineup and they know it. Like, because you can look, unless they murder you, and then that's their plan all along.
You were the only white guy at like an African like compound where my friend was murdered, who I found out was part of the CIA.
Yes.
I was kidnapped, and
Jimmy
Superman had
Olsen.
to come rescue me.
Yes.
It's like, of course I remember you. You were the only other white
I
person
don't know.
here.
Okay, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that it's apparently a thing to go up to someone and be like,
I feel like that's
see you.
yeah.
I feel like that's for normal people, not black market assassins.
I don't know. I've never been in that situation, and no one in the true crime community has given me instructions on how to handle that situation.
Well, now.
Slide into
Next last
Kaylin's
podcast.
DMs.
Yeah.
Tell her how to do it.
Well, fun
ahead.
fact: the guy that gets killed at the beginning of the movie is Jimmy Olsen.
Really
Yeah.
Do I
interesting.
know who that is?
What?
I'm sorry.
He's the guy who writes for the Daily Planet with Lois and Clark Kent.
Oh, it's a comic book thing. Okay, yeah. That explains why I don't know.
Yeah,
I was like, is that a famous actor?
he definitely played himself with that.
The only Olsens that we acknowledge are the twins and their sister and the tight end from the Panthers.
Greg.
Fair enough.
Greg Olsen?
Fair enough.
I'm very glad I saw the TV show Smallville because I knew who Jimmy Olsen was. That's a
Shout
fun
out.
one.
If you kill the bat, Martha win. What the fuck? Like, what kind of pitting against? Like, I guess that's how you get them to fight. But in other comic books, it's just they don't agree with each other. And that's how they end up fighting. But they don't establish that enough. And so it's just like, if you don't kill the Batman, like, I'll kill your mom. And it's just like, why are you taking this to another level, man?
I wrote down that was way too easy for Lex Luthor to pull off. Like, this whole fucking plot, like blowing up the Senate and kidnapping Superman's mom and getting Batman to fight him. Like, this was all too fucking easy.
You know how they would prove that it would maybe be involved in that is like, who was the only one not in the Senate that didn't die? Lex Luthor? Oh, it would take 2 seconds of detective work to be like, wait, who wasn't there? Oh, the billionaire was making secret weapons like that.
But we didn't have the world's greatest detective at the scene.
Yeah, the world's greatest detective was off fighting homeless people.
He wakes up in the middle of the night and he's like, it was fucking Clark Kent and Lex Luthor blew up the Senate.
God damn it. I was this close.
The world's greatest detective being used as a pawn in a fucking chess game by people with like actual knowledge.
Well, I mean, like, that's kind of textbook Lex Luthor, I guess, whenever you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Superman just ragdolling Batman because that's what would happen.
Absolutely.
Like the very beginning of that fight when he just pushes him in the chest and he flies, and I'm like, yes, this is pretty accurate. Like, this is what would absolutely, he would shit on Batman.
That's what I want. I want more OP Superman media. Like,
Absolutely.
I want video games from Superman on OP. I want movies where Superman is OP. I want TV shows where Superman is OP. I'm sick of Kryptonite. Shit is whack. I want to see him fucking just beat the shit out of everything that tries to fight him.
It's the Superman problem that you have. It's like, how do you make an invincible man invincible or like relatable at all? And that's kind of the problem that they've always had with these movies. And they did it okay in like back in the day of the Christopher Reeves movies, but it's something they haven't been able to figure out since. And so having to fight Batman, it's just a literal god versus
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, a literal god versus Perry Mason. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Just Perry Mason.
Like,
such an old person analogy.
Shout out the new show.
It's bad.
It's just so stupid. It's like, I don't know, man. Batman got ragdolled because he didn't renew his license to carry that month.
Yeah, Batman's just Nancy Drew with a little bit more cash. Like,
wow.
Like, it doesn't feel
slander.
But you know what's crazy? It's like that the DC villains are so much better than the DC superheroes, and that will forever bother me.
I completely agree with that. Mm-hmm. And that's why Suicide Squad was such a disappointment, because it's like you had such good characters at your disposal.
Suicide Squad was a disappointment because they didn't let Ayer do what he wanted to do, and they butchered it to shit.
Yeah, but it should have been good.
Haircut.
Should have been good.
Release it.
I want the Ayer cut.
Release the Ayer's rock stick. Let's see. We'll wrap this up pretty quickly, but so Batman just has to fight dirty. Like, he's just that's my favorite part about this. He's just like there's no way that I can win, but I'm gonna throw sand in your eyes and we'll try to get away.
Kryptonite smoke.
Just literally like throwing his smoke. It's like, now you see me, now you don't. And it's like those stupid things that when you would pop the smoke and then run away, and you see him run away from you. Like, it's like,
I like how he made a kryptonite spear. Dude, we've seen you use a gun this whole movie. You can make kryptonite bullets.
He wants it to be cool and antique.
He was trying to be a warrior.
Her first thought when seeing the kryptonite spear is, let me throw it in this suspicious body of water. That'll protect Superman forever from this kryptonite spear.
Then he goes to try and dive for it and just was like floating up. And it's just like, oh shit, I can't. Kryptonite makes it to where he can't swim. Like not that it makes him like normal, it just makes him lose all function. It's just like
Speaking of Superman having to swim, I wrote down, is the only reason that Wonder Woman is in this movie so that Doomsday has something else to do while Superman looks for this fucking spear?
Kinda.
Yeah.
because
like, she doesn't make any headway in that fight. Like
she holds her own though. I feel like she held her own.
I guess it's also to say there's more meta-human or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I do like the Wonder. I like the Wonder Woman theme, though. I will always like that theme song.
Yeah, it's a good theme song.
Oh yeah, it's a good theme song.
But I was like, you didn't need her in this movie other than for her to like distract Doomsday in this fight. Like that's the only reason she's here.
Her and Batman were like, over here.
Yeah, because Batman's hiding behind a fucking air conditioner. So
I forgot about that. He's a fucking liability. He's just an absolute liability in this. Like Doomsday looks at him and he goes, "Oh shit!" And he shoots a grappling hook to get out of there. Like what an absolute liability.
Yeah, because like Wonder Woman and Superman have like real powers, and Batman has a gun and some spear, like a spear.
Hiding behind an air.
He doesn't even have a spear.
Had a spear. Had a spear and passed it.
He used his one smoke bomb.
He has some .mp4 files.
That's the other thing here too. Batman also can't swim. That's just the whole problem with this universe. Is just a bunch of people being like, I don't know what to do.
In the DC universe, no one takes swimming lessons.
No,
except Aquaman.
Yeah,
because
this is why we have him. He's just like, if Aquaman would have been there.
Most dense, that's weird. The most dense human in the DC universe is the one that can swim.
Yeah.
Like a Jason Momoa, that is literally 300 pounds of muscle.
Hey, floats like a god. The Save Martha thing. All right, we got to talk about it. 2 hours in.
Do we
yes.
have to?
Yes, we have to.
Yes, we do.
That is
what else would you talk about, honestly?
If you want me to say anything,
for 2 hours.
The Batman versus Superman thing was cool, actually. That was actually pretty fucking dope. That was 10 minutes of this movie.
If that.
What? How do you do that? How do you do that?
Martha.
And it ends with their moms having the same name. I know this has been beat over the head and everybody's has said this, but I never saw the movie and now I have a podcast. What the fuck is going on? We couldn't think of one. We couldn't think of one thing. We couldn't think of one thing. What?
Like
it would have
even
been better, like if they were just like, we love America and Doomsday trying to ruin it.
No, I would have like
our
been
mom's
much happier.
name is Martha.
The movie even recognizes that it's a bad situation because it has to have Amy Adams show up and be like, hold on, guys, hold on. Here's why the Martha thing makes sense. We had to have 2 minutes of exposition with her.
She tried her best delivering that line, but it was bad, man.
It was bad line.
Bad. It's his mother's name. You're like,
mother's name is Martha.
What if Batman was also just like, fuck it. Like, just like
laser eyes.
Yeah, Batman was just like, yeah, and mine's dead. Like,
that's what he said. What if he's just so like, fine, your Martha's dead too. I don't fucking care. Like,
save Martha.
What about save the fucking planet? Like, there's not.
I don't know. I literally
Batman wasn't going to be able to do that, so that doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah, then why
and also the
Superman?
planet wasn't in danger at that point because Doomsday hadn't been like.
the
regardless.
planet wasn't in danger until Doomsday. Which, you know what actually pisses me off about this whole movie? The fact that the minute I saw Doomsday in the trailer, I literally looked over at my friend and I was like, Superman's gonna die. And he was like, how do you know that? And I was like, you don't fucking read the comics? It's like anytime Doomsday shows up, Superman dies. Like it's almost like
giving it away.
It's just a thing where if the minute you see Doomsday, he's a Superman killer.
But he's not even really dead, and they really like dropped that ball really fast. Like it would have been interesting if like they hadn't immediately been like, but he's not really dead.
Superman can't die.
Well, I mean, in Justice League, he doesn't show up till like the last 45 minutes maybe of the movie.
Wait, but we all know he's gonna fucking show up. Like,
yeah, and it's like, okay, if this was like the 5th movie in a universe, okay, Superman is dead. Real fucking sad. It's the 2nd movie. Like,
I know he's not fucking dead. I'm not
like,
stupid.
You can't do that yet. Like,
what a turn that would have been if they were just like, no, he's not coming back.
We're done. We don't like working. We hate.
But how else do you convince Batman to go make the Justice League?
I don't know. Maybe another supervillain.
I'm
Justice
literally
movie.
just Perry Mason,
but I mean, like,
as Royden said. I need help. Like,
but the thing is, so without Superman, if Superman didn't die and you bring in Darkseid and his uncle, Superman could whoop all their asses.
Yeah.
Which they make evident in Justice League. So I guess you kind of did have to kill him off, but it was very early. So I do agree that it was early, but it had to happen.
Yeah, the reason Batman forms the Justice League is because he feels bad.
He's just
I'm useless,
lonely.
and y'all have actual powers.
He's lonely and alcohol dependent. He's just like
nice.
Usually there's a 15-year-old boy named Robin that's around here, but now I guess I gotta go find other metahumans. Jesus Christ.
Robin is dead.
The Robin story is always the weirdest thing in those comments. It's just like a 45-year-old man child. It's just like, why
Die for me.
Yeah, why is that here? Robin's dead. Batman versus Superman was cool. Doomsday, just mad as hell coming out the womb. He's just mad out the womb.
He's Zod.
Yeah, well, Zod was angry too. But the thing that was funny to me is I just imagine it's like they immediately started fighting like Superman immediately tried to go to work on him, and it's just sitting there going like, what if he wasn't going to fight you, man? Like, what if he just wanted to be alive? He just wanted to exist. Like, he wanted to go work at an attorney's office. He just wanted to go work a 9 to 5. Like, he just wanted to clock in, clock out. But no, just because I look this way, y'all think that I don't. That's the stupidest thing that when I was sitting there watching this movie, it was like,
can only be one alien on this planet. I can't.
I can't also be a reporter. Jesus.
It's very discriminatory of you.
Doomsday puts on glasses. It looks a lot like. Nah, couldn't be. Could not be. Nah. Doomsday in a coat and a tie going to work in a tax attorney's office.
We've already kind of discussed this, but like, just fucking amazing that the U.S. government was just immediately like, nuke it. Just fucking nuke it right now.
Do it.
We don't know what'll happen. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, because that's safe. Setting off a nuclear bomb in our atmosphere. And they're just like, yeah, it's above everything. It's fine. You're just like, I don't know if you know how this works.
That made it stronger. Who could have told you that? You couldn't took 5 minutes to be like, what the fuck is this thing? Let's figure it out.
My favorite thing with Superman
immediately.
Yeah, my favorite thing with Superman though too is when it's just like, just need a little bit of sunshine. Just walk this one off.
I did not realize that the suit in his lair that says "haha, joke's on you, Batman" was supposed to be that Robin's fucking dead. That flew over my head so hard.
Oh, is that what that's supposed to be?
It's Jason Todd. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because apparently he was beaten by the Joker with a crowbar.
Yeah.
And like that's apparently canon. And apparently, whoa.
Yeah. So I'll interject my nerd shit real quick. So yes, in the Red Hood, Joker literally beats the dog shit out of Jason Todd until he's like loses teeth, and it's a very brutal thing to read, watch, look at. So that's why Batman ultimately turned to killing people, because he had an opportunity to kill the Joker and he didn't, and the Joker ended up kidnapping Jason Todd and beating the dog shit out of him.
That totally flew over my head. That's why when you guys were saying Robin was dead, I was like, how do we know this? Like,
Superman under the Red Hood is isn't that supposed to be like one of the most renowned animated films that they've ever put out as well, too.
Yeah.
Right, it has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. All right, we'll just wrap this up. Launching a nuke into the atmosphere, that's not safe. Batman was an absolute liability in the fight against Doomsday. He was literally running away the entire time. Just like, oh, fuck.
Then fucking Lois Lane is back there when Superman finally gets the spear that they've been working like the last 20 minutes to get out of this fucking water she just put it in. She's immediately like, no, Clark, don't. And it's like, bro, do you not see this fucking alien destroying the fucking planet right now? What else am I going to do? I have to stab it with the spear. Like,
also the dumb thing with that is that Lois Lane tries to dive in there and then immediately has to be rescued again. It's just like, oh, help, Superman. Like, Jesus Christ, bitch. Like, what are we doing here?
Lois Lane is the fucking worst love interest, like, ever, because she's ultimately so useless.
Just always always getting saved. But okay. And then, of course, Wonder Woman, I think, holds her own. I liked her in this movie. I really like what she brought to this film. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but I enjoyed watching her in that. And I think she held her own with Doomsday, but whatever. And, yeah, so, I don't know.
Fine.
It's fine. The juxtaposition, this is my favorite note from the film, is Anderson Cooper going, the work day is over, so downtown is nearly empty. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Anderson Cooper, for explaining something that Zack Snyder took a lot of heat on in Man of Steel. So he had to be like, fine, I guess we'll make the town empty. Whatever. Do we have to?
I wonder how much CNN licensing costs, because like they be in a lot of films.
That's a lot, yeah.
Anderson Cooper just is like, I need more relevancy.
Dad Wolf Blitzer in Mission Impossible for a hot second.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm a fucking Vanderbilt. I need more attention.
I always forget that.
The fact that he's a fucking Vanderbilt.
Yep. I always forget that. Never forget.
I hate him.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus. One of the most loved
what a
people
weird
in
way
America.
to end this movie.
Whoa.
I hate Anderson Cooper. What? Okay. The juxtaposition between the two funerals is good, but what's in that military casket? Like, what are they doing? Like, we can't bury Clark Kent and Superman at the same time. What are we gonna?
I didn't even think about that.
And it's just like, isn't that funny? How they're just like, Clark Kent also dead. Just like it's
Why
just
did
like,
I
how
just
did
accept
how did
that
how did that happen? How did
Why
these two
is it-
similar looking people?
Why is it when I watched it, I literally just accepted that somehow there were two bodies? I very much accepted.
You're just like, yeah, Superman can be in two places at once, even
It's
if
just like, is he just super speeding back and forth?
What did Lois Lane say to them at her job? Was she just like, yeah, guys, I know y'all saw that Superman died, but like Clark Kent, he was like also out there somewhere. We couldn't
My
find his
boyfriend's
body.
dead.
But like I was on the ground like doing investigative work, obviously, like near Doomsday. And Superman died. But Clark Kent wasn't far away, like trying to help me do my report. And
the
he
guy
died.
that also that saves me all the time and looks exactly like a spitting image of my boyfriend also died.
Which, I mean, you would think they would put two and two together because literally every time she's in trouble, he kind of just appears out of nowhere.
You say that, but I very much believed that there were. I know
We're
that
the
Clark
audience
Kent
for this.
I know that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person, and yet I
Do
believed
you?
that there were two.
Again,
You think there were two different people, so
put on the
do you?
glasses.
I somehow believed he split himself in two.
It just proves
Caitlin-
that media manipulation works.
The other
Caleb
option
fully
is-
believes that the glasses are a great form of disguise.
the other option for the two funerals is that she did the Carol Baskin thing where she waited the 5 years and then immediately was like, he's dead, legally, done.
Yeah.
Give me all this shit.
Jesus Christ.
They put out a search party for Clark Kent. And then like 5 years later, she was like, nah, he's dead. Like,
Yeah, Lois Lane actually killed Clark.
That's it, God.
fed him to
Lois-
tigers.
Lois Lane fed Superman to tigers.
That's what the media wants you to think, but really.
Jesus Christ. Also, the whole ring thing, like, he was going to ask you to marry him.
Whack.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
does
now
shit
he's
like that?
dead, so now he can't.
Yeah. Now he's dead. He's dead. Who paid for the funeral? An anonymous donor. Also Bruce Wayne.
Millions of people on GoFundMe because like fucking Superman died.
I don't know. All right. Anything else? I mean, we talked this to death and whatever, but
we had a lot to say about this very bad movie.
We did?
That just proves how good it is.
you just like walking out of here with number one finger up. He's like,
I also have a lot to say about like The Room, but that doesn't actually mean it's good, even though it is kind of good. But like,
Okay.
oh hi,
Said
Mark.
what I said.
oh hi, Mark.
Are we doing a draft? Do we have time?
We are doing.
Or-
Let's do
Yeah.
it. Whatever.
Quick
This
draft.
is a 3 hour. This is a 3 hour movie. We can do a 3 hour.
3 hour
This
pod.
this is our Snyder cut.
Ah, yes, our ultimate edition right here. All right, so we are doing a non-MCU, so you can still do Marvel movies, but non-MCU superhero movie draft.
Come on, baby.
So this is going to be tough because they kind of have a chokehold on this, but non-MCU superhero draft. How's the order go?
It's Rascal, Caitlin, Jake, Dex, Royton.
Okay, Snake
I have
draft.
a list of like 15 movies. So-
Top four, Rascal. Top four, non-MCU superhero movies. Number one pick off the board. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw a oop-de-loop. Blade 2.
Whoa!
Oh,
Okay, I get my first choice.
as your number
Number
one
one?
overall.
Holy shit!
Hey, that movie completely changed the way that we view superhero films, and I'm sticking to that.
You're not wrong, but like
Wow.
number
Jake,
one
you could have
overall.
taken that in the fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Taking Mitch
All right.
Trubisky with a.
No, I'm
There
actually
is a
taking
Pat
Pat
Mahomes on the
Mahomes.
board.
This
There
is
is a
Pat.
There's a $500 million man on the board, and you just took.
Yeah, which I'm gonna immediately
Mitchell.
take.
All
I
right,
feel
go
like
ahead.
you're
ahead,
about
Caitlin.
to fuck up this pick, but do it.
Hi, I'm taking The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Like,
That's cute.
fuck you.
I mean, it's no Wesley Snipes, but
I
I mean, damn, Heath Ledger, he kind of.
he did his thing. But it's no Wesley Snipes, if we're being honest.
I wasn't even going to say that. I was going to say my guy went crazy. We don't have Heath Ledger because of this movie.
yeah, he sacrificed himself for art. Beautiful.
Incredible. And
Jake?
performance that's
There's
going
an
to be
obvious
mimicked
second.
forever.
There's another one that's a big hitter, I think, on the board right now.
We're only 2 picks in, so yes.
There's plenty.
There's
There's a
only
lot
like
left
three.
here.
Blade,
There's only like
Blade
three. picks.
3.
There's only like 3 good superhero movies that aren't Marvel.
No.
What?
No, you're incorrect. Go ahead, Jake.
Whoa.
I knew Kayla was gonna take Dark Knight because obvious.
Fuck you. Why are I took a good one.
You did. I will agree. You did take a good one.
That was a great
That's,
pick.
that's a good pick.
Y'all are being mean about like me being basic right now.
I'm taking Logan.
Damn.
Okay.
That was good.
That is a
Yeah.
movie I absolutely love. It's great. Finally get to watch a superhero live a normal life as a limo driver. What more do you want?
Do you like to cry? You're gonna. Do you too have problems with your dad?
Watch Ad Astra. Just kidding.
Oh,
Dad.
don't watch that.
Dad
I
Astra.
hate Ad Astra. That's such a dumb movie.
Dad
It really
Astra.
is.
I liked it.
I hate it. I broke up with my boyfriend at the time because he liked Ad Astra too much, and it made me realize he was pretentious.
It's not that bad. Like I wanna,
So
he
with my pick,
he went on. He decided that was his favorite movie after he watched it, and I was
that's
like,
actually pretty bad.
"Eee."
it's
Well,
actually
now.
pretty bad.
Damn.
with my pick, I'm taking something I can't believe is still on the board. I was sure Rascal was going to take it with the first pick, but
Nope.
I'm going Into the Spider-Verse.
Fuck!
Oh yeah, I
Yep.
figured.
God
Good
damn
pick.
it!
It's a great pick.
Is that not Marvel? That's part of the MCU, right?
No,
Nope.
it's not.
It's
No,
Marvel, but
not.
not part of the MCU.
Mm-mm.
Huh.
Not part of the
Okay.
MCU.
God damn it! That is a perfect movie.
It is a perfect.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking good.
There
Fuck,
are a couple
man.
of Marvel movies out there that aren't part of the MCU.
I knew that, but I thought for some reason that one was. But I don't really know.
That was Fox.
Thought I was gonna.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
Sony.
It was
Sony.
Sony.
That's Sony. Okay.
It's the best thing they
People's
ever
coming out
did, and they
soon.
just did
Is
not
it the
even
la-
promote it.
Is that the last Spider-Man that they had on their contract to do?
No, they had that
No.
one
Doing
by
another
themselves.
Spider-Verse.
They're
They're
doing.
doing another one.
They're doing another Spider-Verse with Miles Morales, and then they're still going back and forth with the MCU with Tom
Okay.
Holland.
Because I just know Sony's contract is supposed to run out eventually on them, but
Let's see. Damn it.
Royden, you got 2.
Yeah. Deadpool.
Nice.
Oh, that was gonna be my
Good.
4th rounder. I thought I could sneak that through.
Yeah, I liked the original. I like Deadpool 2 as well, but I feel like when the original Deadpool came out, everybody was like, "Oh, like
You can
this
do
is-
that.
yeah, you can do this in a movie. You can do this in a superhero movie." The second one, I'm gonna take a fly. Actually, I can save this one. We're gonna go with X-Men: Days of Future Past.
hell yeah.
You
Oh, okay.
son
I
of
love,
my
that
god.
was on my list.
Yeah. So I feel like I got 2 really good ones back to back.
That's great.
Yeah, that's solid.
Days of Future
Okay,
Past
okay.
is, I think, by far the best X-Men film for sure. I would think. I don't know, unless you want to count Deadpool as an X-Men film.
I don't know. I'm a Rogue fan.
We
so
might
I
come
liked-
back to
I liked
more
the
X-Men
OG
movies.
X-Men.
All right, so we're gonna go back up. Dex.
Yeah, it's me. I'm
You
gonna go with
snake.
another Spider-Man movie. Give me Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Okay, yeah. I knew that was gonna go. I thought it would
Why
go
can
faster.
somebody describe for me why that one is liked way more than the first one?
just-
Because it's like
better.
ranked. I mean, I guess I just haven't seen them in forever. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just like, I don't. It's always ranked as one of the top superhero movies of all time, and I remember liking it just as much as the first one.
The
You know,
gap
I-
between it and like other like superhero movies that come out now is like way smaller than people make it out to be.
Yeah,
But it's just better than the first one because you don't have to waste as much time like getting to know the characters and stuff like that. It's just like already established and they get straight into it. The villain is really good. The pacing is really good in the movie. Like
Mm.
and you're not just wasting time with like, oh, he got bit by a spider. And
I also
it's,
think Mary
figuring out his
Jane-
powers.
Mary Jane's also like way less insufferable in the second movie.
she's worse than Lois Lane, though. She is worse than Lois Lane.
I kind
Doesn't
of
do
like Mary
any- doesn't
Jane,
do
but that's
anything.
because of her weird actress thing. And I was like young, and I was like, me too, Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah. All she is girl falling from things. That is what
Yeah.
she was in those movies.
And she's like extremely manipulative in the second one for no
She's-
reason.
But more likable still. Like I
Oh.
still liked her better than in the first one, but I
Man.
don't know. But I also adamantly hate Gwen Stacy, so
all those actors are billionaires. All those actors are set for life because of those 3 movies. All right,
Though.
Jake.
Jake. Yeah.
Actually, a little surprised that I'm getting this. I'm taking Watchmen.
yeah, I
Okay.
figured.
I
That was actually gonna be my first pick, but I decided to throw the loop-de-loop.
No
I mean,
I
way.
decided
yeah.
to take Mitch Trubisky.
you know,
I get to take my
take running back first round.
I still
Caleb will be
haven't seen
taking
Watchmen.
Dark Knight Rises followed by Batman Begins, thinking that she just won this.
No, I get one of my favorite movies of all time now, which is The Crow.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm a-
wow.
I'm a big
Yeesh.
Brandon Lee fan, and I like cursed films. The Crow got me into a cursed films kick, so I've been watching a shit ton of them, but The Crow has been one of my favorite movies since I was like 15.
What I mean, just the most nuts thing that I think happened like on a movie set.
With the gun, where
Yeah.
it's like they just literally forgot to take a real bullet out. Yeah, it's absurd. Which it's also crazy because Spike Lee, his last film he ever recorded, one of his characters actually dies from a bullet still being in a gun. that wasn't supposed to have a bullet. So a lot of people think it's like super prophetic. The Spike Lee curse is super, like the Lee family curse is really interesting. No, it's Bruce Lee. I'm so tired, y'all. I've been up since 5 a.m.
I was like, did something happen to Spike Lee that I wasn't aware of?
No martial artist.
On the 5 Bloods.
No, fucking Bruce Lee. No,
known martial artist Spike Lee.
But super recommend if you want to if you're interested in cursed films. Shudder
Getting
did
your
a
ass
full
kicked in a Kobe jersey.
Shudder did a full docu-series on the Brandon Lee story, and it's really, really interesting. Also, the crew fucking rocks, and it sucks that it didn't actually get to be the film that it was supposed to be. Like Skeleton Man isn't actually even allowed to be a figure in the film, really, because Brandon Lee died, unfortunately.
It's one of those ones that everybody loves and I still have not seen. I don't know. It's crazy looking.
It's depressing as shit. It's like Deadpool without any comic relief is basically how I would describe it. Because the premise is really similar. That it's a man goes to get revenge for a girlfriend who's been murdered. So it's the same premise, but with it's not funny.
Just no Ryan Reynolds
making it.
Yeah,
Rascal, you got 2.
Oh man, I'm throwing another loop-de-loop out here. X-Men First Class.
Hell yeah.
Okay. It's a good one, though.
All right.
That's a good one.
With that. And then?
Kevin Bacon as bad guy.
What's your second pick? Third pick, sorry. I can't count or remember the name of the Lee family.
My third pick. Holy shit. The original Hellboy.
The original Hellboy.
I was going to say Hellboy, but then I saw it has a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, you're thinking about the 2019 version, the one that I will die on a hill and say that was a very good movie. But no, the original one from Guillermo del Toro. I said what I said.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not Golden Army.
Horrible reviews.
Not Golden Army.
No, not Golden Army.
Really?
No, the original has horrible critic reviews for some reason. Critical reviews.
It's good.
It is really good, but it is critically not good.
As you can see, I hate critics.
But I agree. I love Hellboy.
The original was 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You're talking about the one that has Mia Jovovich in it, right?
No. That's the one that just came out last year.
Is that
right? You're blowing Caitlin's mind right now.
No, I swear I saw one that was
Bernstein Bears.
The Mandela effect.
I know.
I swear
the original 2004 Hellboy has an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I've seen the original and I thought it tanks. I'm stupid, guys. I don't know.
Didn't make any money.
Are you thinking of the DK Harbor one or the Ron Perlman one? Because we're talking Ron Perlman.
I don't know those names, so I don't.
Harbor from Stranger Things, or
I'm thinking about one I saw 5 years ago and really liked.
Ron Perlman looks like Thanos in real life, but white.
I saw one I saw it for the first time 5 years ago in college. So
Easter Island head, Ron Perlman.
It could be.
Okay, so yeah.
But anyway, what's your next pick, Caitlin?
The Incredibles.
Yeah.
That was on my list.
That's a great late pick.
I'm not gonna explain that one.
No, you don't. Great pick.
Speaking of Thixar.
I was just about to make that show.
I'm going to get my last round pick, though. I'm pretty excited. I didn't think I would.
Jake?
Speaking of Holly Hunter, too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I love her voice. I don't know. There's something whenever she talks, I get really happy.
It's a weird thing that she does.
Yeah,
it makes me happy. She made me so happy this whole film.
Draw, everything is just air pushed out. If I get denied, I'm gonna make an argument that this is technically a superhero film, but if we vote against it, that's fine. V for Vendetta.
That counts. I wanted. That's on my list.
It's a comic book
film.
I think he's a superhero as much as Batman is.
Yeah.
A vigilante, they're the fucking same.
Stupid rich, live in a castle decorated only by armor and gold.
Cover their face.
For some reason have a full model prison.
I would count V for Vendetta. Like,
That movie has all of a sudden gotten real annoying, though.
Yeah, it's been co-opted to the worst people in the world, but I still like it. I love the graphic novel. I think it's a great movie.
That Guy Fawkes mask is creepy as shit. Always has been. Behind this mask, Mr. Creedy. And you're just like, ugh.
The Natalie Portman head shave scene still makes me really upset every time I watch it, where she's being like tortured. That shit fucks me up.
All right, Dex.
Fuck.
How has no one said this one film that I'm genuinely, I'm
excited.
It's not my pick. I'm not going to take it. I'm just like.
There's one I'm holding out for. I probably could have taken B last, but whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't make a big board before doing this.
I didn't either.
I did because I don't know that much about superhero stuff, so I knew I couldn't really play this by ear.
Can I just drop one that's gonna be controversial and stupid?
Yeah.
What,
Shape of
third
Water.
round?
What?
Shape of Water count?
Come on.
There's no way in hell Shape of Water counts.
That's not, dude.
Why not?
He's not a superhero.
What is he?
He's just a genetic abnormality.
I guess he's just as much of a superhero as Aquaman is.
Superman
he doesn't
or
fight
Aquaman
crime
or
though. In fact, I would honestly argue he creates crime.
Batman creates crime.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything to also stop crime. This is silly.
You know what, Dex? I'll allow it.
I'm not gonna.
Done.
What?
I'll
It's
allow it.
over. It's dead. Bury it.
I love the bit. I love it for the. I love it for the Twitter graphic.
Here's the problem. There's shitty DC films left on the table, and you decided just to swing, not even left field.
There's a really good film on the table.
Oh,
that
nobody's
Shape
gonna
of
take.
Water is a really good film.
Nobody's gonna take my
Do you want
last
to know why
pick.
it's not a good superhero film? Because it's not a superhero film.
For my next pick, I'm picking Roma.
I will be taking Call Me by Your Name.
I was gonna say, call me by your name. The
Army
best
Hammer.
superhero film.
Freddie Mercury's voice is a superpower. Bohemian Rhapsody.
This is
Elton
a wild
John's
choice.
Rocket Man.
Yeah, he does a lot of drugs and thinks he can fly. So.
I'll take the
Honestly, let's
horses. And
Rocket
sorry.
I'll take
I'm sorry
the
to bother
horses
you.
from Sorry to bother.
I mean,
I don't even care about Royd's pick. I'm excited to see what Dex is going to pull out at number 4.
I'll probably think of an actual superhero movie by the time we get to number 4, but here I am.
I mean, cutting off a horse's head is a superhero act.
And sneaking it into a guy's bed without him noticing.
That's true.
Number 4, Das Boot.
But for real, Ryan, you got 2 picks.
Okay, I got 2 picks. This one I knew I could get at the very end, but I really, really do love this film. Chronicle.
Oh shit! I forgot about that movie.
It's the only good movie Dane DeHaan's ever been in.
That's the first movie I've ever seen by myself in a movie theater.
Also not true. Dane DeHaan's Kill Your Darlings is really fucking good, and I will die that Kill Your Darlings.
Like I said, it's
is
the
a
only good
film.
movie Dane
Josh
DeHaan's ever
Trank's
been.
one good movie.
I fucking hate you. That's Kill Your Darlings is a good movie.
I need to rewatch it, but yeah, it is Josh Trank's only good movie. Oh fuck, they gave him Fantastic Four off of that shit. Yeah, so we'll do that. My 4th pick is Ford versus Ferrari. No, I'm kidding. 4th pick, I'm gonna go with, just because I know somebody will pick it, X-Men X2.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
shit.
There's a lot of X-Men being taken up.
I mean, they're all supposed to be in the MCU and not. So you just gotta. I mean, people think that that's the best X-Men film. I have to go back and watch it, but I just feel like it was gonna come off the board eventually. So X-Men X2.
There's just an Oscar winner I keep expecting people to take.
No one's taking Joker.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Or Suicide
No.
Squad? Which one are we
No.
talking about here?
No.
Is it my pick again?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's your
Sure.
Give me Birds of Prey.
Okay.
All right.
pick. Going out with a win.
I mean,
Shape of Water and Birds of Prey.
The crossover.
There's a
no one
cinematic
was
universe
expecting.
here.
I feel like okay.
Is it me?
Yeah.
I'm tired, y'all.
Kick ass.
Fuck you! That was my last round. I hate you. I hate you.
I just
hate
want
you.
to point out every time I take a pick, and she thought she had me on that one.
I hate you.
Hey.
Kick-Ass was literally, I don't care about any other ones.
Why didn't you take it then?
Because I really thought I had.
You're not playing the draft right.
I didn't think he'd fuck me. Like, fuck.
Let's just talk about the fact that it's Nicolas Cage as a Batman knockoff being set on fire, screaming happiness. Oh, it's
Big
such a
Daddy.
good movie.
I fucking love Kick-Ass. I hate you. I don't have a
That
second pick.
gave
I just-
Chloe Grace
Is that the
Moretz.
Oscar winner you were talking about?
No,
That one-
Kick-Ass
I'm
won
not
an
even
Oscar?
picking I'm not picking the Oscar winner. I just am shocked no one's taking it.
That gave
Well, I
Chloe
guess I am
Grace
gonna take the
Moretz
Oscar
undeserved roles for the rest of her life.
Well, let's find out what your Oscar winner is.
Oh, I was gonna take Birdman, kind of. Like, I guess.
Because if he can take Shape of Water, you can
Yeah,
take
he can
Birdman.
take. I mean, Birdman's more related to superheroes than Shape of Water is.
Notice I didn't argue, so like it doesn't matter.
I don't know. I wasn't very excited about that. That was like my alt if I had to, but it was definitely a
is that what
Shape of
you're doing?
Water-esque pick.
Nah, Shape of Water was a fucking great pick that came out of nowhere, and Birdman is just a whimper.
It's a whim. I mean, it's a good ass movie. I like Birdman. I don't know. Like, I don't feel very strong.
There are so many left on the board, and I am
There's so
bewildered.
many.
I want to take. Wait.
No,
Nah.
no,
Did I backtrack?
No.
The card has been placed. It's in. You've already talked to the
But
commissioner.
it's barely it's barely a superhero film.
Undrafted
Oh.
free agent.
Hope it's on the
You-
waivers for you, my friend.
Okay.
Damn.
Take us home.
I mean, I could go Ninja Turtle. I
You
could
should.
go Power
Why would
Ranger.
you do that though?
I
Why would you do
could
that
go.
though?
I could
I know
go.
you were thinking about Shape of Water. Unfortunately, that has been
Hey,
taken.
you know what though? I'm gonna do something that's gonna be very controversial here. But
Oh,
since
okay.
Dex went Shape of Water,
Yes.
you haven't seen this movie, you're not a real MCU fan, and this isn't an MCU movie. Howard the Duck.
I love Howard. Oh my.
That's funny, man. Holy
That's a
shit.
good choice. That's a good choice.
That's gonna go great on the graphic.
Why did no one take Wonder Woman? I'm shook.
Because
Nobody
that movie
took
fucking stinks.
That movie is great, and I just didn't want to be roasted on Twitter.
Nobody took Dark Knight Rises.
No one took any of the original Superman films with Christopher
Or
Reeve.
the original Batman film.
No.
Also, one of my backup choices was Unbreakable, and like
Yeah.
I'm shook
Yeah.
no one took those.
That
You have
makes
a good
sense. That's a
point.
cinematic universe.
I'm fucking shook. Nobody took the Disney original movie Sky High.
Yeah,
Oh my
Whoa.
god.
that
I
was also
should've
on
done
my
that.
list. But I
Oh,
didn't
no,
know
no,
they
I'm
did.
putting the waiver in now.
Unfortunately,
just-
no. You're gonna have to give up Shape of Water for that.
I just personally, if we're taking undrafted,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just want Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's all I ask for.
Can I
Wait,
also
like the old ones from the 90s?
Of course.
They
wait?
drove some
Ivan
kick-ass
Ooze.
cars back then.
Can I also take the horrible bastardization that is the film Zoom with Courtney Cox and Tim Allen? That was released right after Sky High.
Hold on. What's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he kind of becomes a superhero based off
Where he's
like
like a toy or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
Last
toy.
Action
Jingle
Hero.
all the way.
Terminator.
no, well,
It's Last Action Hero,
It's the
yeah.
Last Action Hero. Yeah.
Jingle all the way. I'm Turbo Man.
What is the one where he plays like a twin? What's with that one?
Danny DeVito,
Yeah.
twins.
Twins.
Yeah, twins.
What is the movie where a twin? Oh, twins.
It's literally called Twins.
Holy shit!
Guys, I'm not. I told you
What's
guys
that movie
before.
where Will? What's that movie where Will Ferrell and they're stepbrothers. What is
John C. Reilly's
John C. Reilly? They're like stepbrother.
I told you guys before we filmed, I'm very tired. I don't normally work, and today I worked, and it's hard for me. I'm not used to having a 9 to 5 or 5 to 10:40 p.m.
I'm gonna take Frozen 2 as an undrafted free agent.
What's that dumb one that everybody think that Shaq was in?
Oh
Shazam?
shit! Steel.
No, he wasn't in Shazam.
Steel.
Yeah, it's Steel or something like that. But he was like, there's that whole thing that everybody thinks that Shaq was in. He was in Kazam.
Yeah, he was in Kazam, where he was a
in
genie.
Where he's a genie, but everybody thinks that Shaq or fucking what's his name, Sinbad, was in a movie called.
I genuinely do
Shazam.
think Sinbad was in a film called Shazam.
But he wasn't.
He wasn't.
This is not
There's an
Mandela
alternate-
effect.
So the CIA released information recently that there is alternate universes, and therefore I do really think that that is an alternate universe in which Sinbad is in a film called Shazam.
We all just had that weird fever dream. Everyone. We were just like, yeah, that's a thing.
Which
Oh.
makes
That
more
happened.
sense that we all collectively dreamt something, or that there's an alternate universe in which Sinbad is in the movie Shazam.
Both.
Both can be true.
Both can be true. Science.
Other movies where you could argue superpowers are present. Booksmart. Gigi clearly has superpowers.
She's able to teleport wherever she needs to be. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I love Billy Lord.
Shrek. Superhero.
Shrek as a talking donkey, clearly.
I tried to do a Scottish accent, I just went tonk.
Donkey.
Hansel and Gretel.
Tonkin donkey.
Hansel and Gretel, witch hunters.
Yes.
Every horror movie.
The movie Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twilight.
Twilight is certainly a superhero film.
Team
Ang
Jacob.
Ang Lee's Hulk.
I knew I didn't like you, RFK. I knew I didn't like you. And you're sitting here with this Team Jacob nonsense? Get out of here. No.
Come
Don't be a
back
hater
for
all your
our
life.
Twilight podcast whenever we do that again.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be there. I mean,
Whoa.
if
You
we're
should come for
reading-
let's do the whole series and you can come for the second one.
It's gonna be a 7-person podcast. All right, guys. So
All right,
we
Boyle, wrap it up.
let's wrap it up. 2 hours, 30 minutes. We are in. Hey, Rascal, tell them where they can find what you're putting out, what you do, where they can find your stuff.
You can follow me at Rascal F Kennedy. It's literally my handle on everything, like everything, anything you can think of. Tumblr, Twitter,
Tumblr.
Instagram. No, I'm playing. I haven't been on Tumblr since like 2010. But
That's good.
Writing some weird Zack Snyder fanfics.
Like he does those imagines, but like with Zack Snyder, where it's like imagine Zack Snyder touches your face.
Hey, whoa. We don't do the whole erotica thing. That was for Batman versus Superman.
The world turns sepia tone. It's in slow motion.
Imagine hot Alfred kisses you.
Anyway,
Continue your plus.
sorry, bud.
No, you're good. FullCircleCinema.com. We have a bunch of fresh content. Anytime news drops, more than likely, we're going to report it. Talking Netflix, we kind of just take random things on Netflix that we deem to be hot at the moment, and we review them. So I think we're going to have Dex on soon.
Hey,
Be looking out for that.
crossover that nobody anticipated.
The Shape of Water of drafts.
Movies, a draft in which nothing fits the category of the
The
draft.
non sequitur draft.
All right, so thank you, Rascal, for coming on. Thank you for letting us just shit all over this movie that you find really good, and that's kind of how this podcast works, apparently. But this was fun. I really like this one. May or may not have been more fun than our last guest, but we don't have to talk about it. He's never come back on. Doesn't matter. All right, you can find us. You can find us at the One Take Pod. That is number One Take Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Just depends on what platform you like. Follow us all there. You can download, rate, and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Please do that. It's One Take Pod on all of those platforms. Please do that. Rate, subscribe, review. And we may actually let you on the podcast. Yes, you listening to this right now. You can find us also at One Take Podcast Show at gmail.com. Email us any questions. Jake checks that bi-monthly. And you can also follow us at onetakepod.simplecast.com. It's onetakepod.simplecast.com to download this directly. I'm not sure. We're going to be doing some more lighthearted movies coming up soon. I think that was the request. We're going to get off this dark trend that we've been on, but
some better movies that we
better-
actually like.
I don't think we said like lighter movies. I just think we
Better?
said better movies.
better movies.
Haters.
Haters. Just a bunch of haters, all of us.
Yeah, that's what we are. Not people with taste.
Wow.
I got you.
Apparently,
Now we're definitely haters.
You go to Rice.
I went to Rice. I too left. I agree with
Oh,
you.
okay. All right. Damn it.
You can also now actually follow us on YouTube and Reddit. Please go to One Take Podcast on YouTube, subscribe to that. This video will be up along with the podcast. You can watch this at work when you're trying to just get through the day. And also, yes, you can go find us on Reddit as well. One Take Podcast on Reddit. Dex, why you check? Shout out to Caitlin working that magic. Dex, what are we doing?
Hashtag support Florence Pugh. Hashtag don't do crime. Hashtag I do comedy.
Hashtag
Crime in
Black Lives Matter.
Academia?
yeah. Hashtag release a Snyder Cut. Hashtag wash your hands and wear a face mask.
Please.
Rascal, thank you for coming on. We're out.
Anytime.
Yeah.